welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the very first edition of the OSC King of the Hill Weekly for 2024. I'm of course your host, Live VIP, and with me I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat. Sorry, just messaging some of the players. But yeah, hope you're all enjoying yourselves here. This lovely weekend of StarCraft we just wrapped up with the KSL. Korean StarCraft League was earlier today, and tonight we have a lot of matches that are going to be ongoing here. We have OSC King of the Hill leading into, of course, the Christmas Cup, leading into the Dave Tester Coffee Cup as well. So there's a lot. There's a lot of tournaments back to back that we're going to be covering here tonight, and we start off with the OSC King of the Hill. It's been a while. Again, it's the first edition of the year. It is the 157th edition, but again, plenty of StarCraft going on, and it's great to be back. Great to be back here with OSC. For those that are maybe unfamiliar with the formats, to quickly go over it, it is a King of the Hill style format. The way this works is 2 players face off. The winner advances on, the loser will be knocked out and eliminated from the tournament. We have 15 players. We have 15 players lined up, and one after the other. They're going to be stepping up here to face off against the King of the Hill. The current King of the Hill is Nightmare. He is the reigning King of the Hill from last edition, from the last tournament. And SKillous is going to be stepping up to bring him down in a best of 1. Oh boy. 15 best of 1s back to back. Enjoy. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. We're going to be kicking things off with a PvP, and of course, we have plenty more players lined up. I'm not privy to the player pool that is, of course, organized by a lovely admin tonight, by Eddie. He is the puppet master, kind of picking and choosing who comes out next and who comes out on top. In a way. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkione, we have our red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless. It is SKillous. Sorry, Nightmare. My apologies. We have Nightmare top right. We have SKillous for Team Liquid bottom left. I think I said the reverse. I do apologize. We're getting back into this. But yes, here we go. Best of 1. So for those also unfamiliar with the format of the veto process, we are going to be getting into this. And basically, the King of the Hill gets 1 veto. King of the Hill gets 1 veto, and Nightmare's veto was Radiz's Station. Meanwhile, the challenger, the would-be usurper, comes in with the map pick. Only 1 veto, and then after that, SKillous was able to pick any map he wanted. We've loaded in Alkione. Let's go. But now it's going to be a 2-gate opener out of SKillous, 2-gate opener here out of SKillous. Sorry, 2-gate opener out of Nightmare, 2-gate opener out of SKillous as well. So everything is looking as it should for the time being. Again, we're going to be getting into our openers. No one is risking it and going for a gate expand. No one is rushing into the goal base. And no one is proxying currently out on the map either. So we go Nightmare just throwing down his Cybercore. Probe is being a bit of a nuisance. Second pylon gets thrown down in the main base. So SKillous knows he isn't being proxied. Likewise, SKillous also throws down his own pylon, which should soon be scouted as well. There we go. It is going to be confirmed by Nightmare. And again, no one is going for any kind of proxy shenanigans, at least in the beginning. At least in game 1. We go. As we should be getting into our openers of choice, it's going to be double Stalker out of SKillous as our first 2 units. Meanwhile, Nightmare going for double Adept. Okay, here we go. A little bit more of an aggressive opener out of Nightmare. These Adepts, they're designed to bypass the Stalkers, to get into a mineral line, and to kill workers, to threaten the main base, and threaten those probes. It's going to be the goal here for Nightmare. He's going to be doubling down as well. The Adepts are on the way, and we're going double Adept into Stargate play, into Oracle. So it's going to be Oracles coming in from one end, Adepts coming in from the other. It's a very aggressive way to open up. This is not all in, just bear that in mind. Not all in by any means, but it is a way to get economic damage done and get ahead here in the game, as Adepts are going to be shading across the map. Meanwhile, SKillous, we have yet to see his tech of choice here. I'm a little bit curious. Probe Scout is going to be bypassing the army, trying to skirt back in. Stalkers are moving out. They're fanning out here to catch any units. The Adepts, they do bypass the Stalkers. Good movement here out of Nightmare. He does avoid them. He does threaten the shade, and we do have a probe in position, and we do wall off. We do wall off in time, Adepts are going to be zoned away. But again, it's not just about the Adepts, it's also about the Oracle. Meanwhile, across the map, SKillous comes in for a pylon block, going to be delaying the expansion a little bit further. Is forced to cancel, and Nightmare should be expanding here back at home. SKillous also going for his own expansion. So again, SKillous has been spending his gas on Stalker Warpins more than anything. Is moving out with all 4 of his Stalkers, which is dangerous, by the way. SKillous is distracted by these Adepts, and as he is being distracted, the Oracle can go in. And the main base is looking a little bit more exposed, a little bit more barren. The Oracle has a lot of potential here as we take control of the Xel'Naga, but the Oracle does skirt around the edge, does avoid that Xel'Naga. And what's in the main base? We have a Sentry. Adepts once again threatening the shade. We have Stalkers pushing across the map, so SKillous going to try and knock down the front door, but there's a shield battery. Shield battery is done. Stalkers, they do stand strong here. Nightmare, he will defend. At the same time, Oracle goes in, and the Oracle will bit of miscontrol. Did miss target there, did attack the Stalker. And the Oracle is forced back. This could have been so much worse. Thankfully for SKillous there, I don't know if you saw, but both this Stalker and the Sentry have sustained damage. It attacked the units here instead of the probes, and as a result, SKillous, he's good. He survives. He doesn't really take any damage. He also pulls back as well. Looking at the Unisource tab, SKillous, he lost 2 probes, but only 2 workers. Nightmare losing 1 probe earlier, his scouting probe. He still has potential for damage. We still have a couple of Adepts here, just reinforcing with Stalkers. Behind this, we're working towards Twilight Council. Now remember, because we invested into this Stargate, because we invested into this Oracle, this means that SKillous is ahead when it comes to Blink, and Nightmare is behind. Nightmare, he invested quite a lot here into this aggression, into this harassment, and so far it has not paid for itself. Adept's going to be threading a shade into the natural. He is not going to complete, though. This Nightmare is going to be pulling back. Both players working towards Blink. Stalkers is going to be a big window. There's going to be a big window where SKillous has Blink and Nightmare doesn't. And we'll see if SKillous is able to make use of that window. If he's able to actually move out across the map and able to punish Nightmare. Looking at the units tab, SKillous, he is ahead in the Stalker count. But looks like he wants to take a third. Looks like he does want to take a 3rd base, and there we go. It is going to be on the way. So SKillous just taking a further economic lead here as both players will expand. I love these stasis traps, by the way. We only invested into a single one of these Oracles, so may as well throw them down and may as well use them to defend, especially when you know that you're behind in Stalkers and behind in Blink. So good use of the Oracle. SKillous going to be poking in. Up! Ooh, is caught by the stasis, and just like that, he should be deflected. Force fields are thrown down. Blink is done. SKillous, he wants to try to make use of that. He has to be very careful here, and he will pull back. Does confirm the 3rd base. Is aware that kind of we're easing into the mid-game. Is going to be aware. Oh! SKillous does back up. Blink is now done here for Nightmare. We have Charge already on the way for SKillous alongside the Forge for +1. Nightmare heading in a similar direction. Adepts, they do shade into the mineral line, and 2 Adepts do one-shot probes. 3 workers go down in the blink of an eye, and don't quite get a 4th. 3 probes do fall, and yeah, so far pretty good damage here by Nightmare. As a result, he's still behind in the workers, but not as much as he once was. He's working on it. SKillous still maintains his economic lead. Has a shield battery, would soon have an overcharge at this 3rd base as well. And he is going to be looking to hold on to this base, at least until Charge kicks in. Nightmare's going to be pushing, but this is just a posture. I don't think he really intends to commit, unless we do catch a couple units with the stasis trap. There is potential. Again, if he can kind of goad his opponent to chasing him... Oh, terrified. SKillous has to be very wary here, very careful. As he's getting eyes on the army. He has detection as well. He will spot that. Yeah, he spots the stasis trap. He sees he won't be done dirty. Good movement so far here out of SKillous. He does force Nightmare back. Likewise, behind this, we're getting into the rest of our Gateway army. We have Charge, +1, Robos on the way here to get into, I imagine, Prism production, maybe even Immortals or Disruptors. 4th base on the way for both players. Here comes Hallucination Scout here by SKillous. SKillous getting an eye on the 4th does confirm that Nightmare isn't being aggressive. So big scout here from SKillous. Does get eyes on everything, the production, the economy, the base count. And SKillous should be feeling pretty comfortable here. Honestly, a really passive game so far. I know that PvP, especially Korean PvP, is very chaotic and very dynamic. But so far, I mean, Nightmare wanted to be aggressive, but his aggression did fall on its face. From that moment, Nightmare has been calming things down and just chilling out. And SKillous is more than happy to reciprocate. More than happy to reciprocate as the fourth base is getting up and running. SKillous still ahead in workers. +2 going to be on the way here for Nightmare. +2 a couple of seconds behind for SKillous. Not the biggest of deals. Not the biggest of windows. SKillous will be backing off. We can see Nightmare getting ready for a run by as well. We have Zelt here towards the left-hand side, pushing towards the natural. Likewise, I'm sure Nightmare going to try and distract the army from the right. Prism moves out. Ooh, and SKillous, I think he did catch a glimpse of these Zealots. Yeah, he does rotate over. Good movement here out of SKillous. Good scouting. They go for another big warp in. And no one has kind of teched any further from here. No one has gone into Disruptors yet. No one has gone into Archons for the time being. I believe there is, no Temple Archives. It's just purely a gateway army for both players. Stalkers are out of position, which means Nightmare has potential with this. He has the Stalker advantage. Oh! Ooh, we're pushing up a ramp. Yeah, it's not going to work out. Is forced back. Zealot's going to be coming back in. We have Zealots. Oh my god. Zealots. Oh, there's at least a pack of them on the right and left. So we have potentially a tri-pronged attack, but Nightmare is going to pull back. Taking a fifth. Okay. We just take a fifth base. Taking another expansion, and there is a transition. This is what I was waiting for. Second Robo and a Bay for double Disruptor production. If you're a fan of balls, we're going to get him. The Protoss balls are soon to be upon us, at least from Nightmare. SKillous hasn't really teched in that direction yet, but I'm hoping we get to see that. I'm hoping. Here's him coming in from behind. We do see a big warping of Zealots as well. SKillous has eyes on the fifth, and he will try to apply some pressure here. His own fifth going to be the gold. Oh my god. SKillous. Bap. Gold base going to be on the way. Zealot's going to be shut down. The Prism has been spotted, and SKillous takes this opportunity to push right through the middle. He does snipe that Oracle. The Oracle from the other game has gone down. Big scout here as we do get eyes on the Bay. He's aware. He's aware of the Disruptors. He knows. And he doesn't care. SKillous doubling down on Mass Stalker. And this is going to be risky. Nightmare is going to have a lot of potential. A lot of potential with these Disruptors. 1 or 2 good Novas, and that could be it. That could be game. Meanwhile, SKillous just doubling down on Mass Stalker. How many Stalkers? We have 40. Oh my god. 44 Stalkers for SKillous against the 29 of Nightmare. Ay, ay, ay. That's a lot of Stalkers, Papi. Behind this, 5th and soon-to-be 6th base on the way for Nightmare, taking his own gold. Nightmare still ready for a big Zealot counterattack. There's not much here to defend, by the way. There's no vision either. SKillous, he doesn't know. His entire army here on the right-hand side getting ready to deny the gold base. So SKillous is pushing. As he pushes, we should see Nightmare go for his own counterattack. We could even see a base trade. Okay, Nightmare, he's in position to defend. Cannon, shield battery is going to be on the way. Pylon going to be shut down. Zelsa caught on the right-hand side. Nightmare should be aware that SKillous is out of position. Yeah, he goes for it. He goes for the run by. Zelsa swarm in, but we have a lot of stack defense on the way as well, and we do defend. Good setup here by SKillous, having the wherewithal to leave some Stalkers in position. But what about those Disruptors? Here we go. We have 2. We have 3. 3 Disruptors are available. Nova's going to be going up. Does graze the army. 1 Stalker goes down. We have 1 Nova in the chamber as well. A rough chase there for... Oh, God, no! A rough chase by Nightmare, but a massive connection there, and that is what we wanted. That is what we needed. Ay, ay, ay. 4 Stalkers. 4? 5 Stalkers go down. And we have more Novas where that came from. Did I say 5? That was 9. 9 Stalkers and 1 Nova. My God. Oh! This time SKillous able to blink in time. He does pull back to the safety of that gold base. You have the shield battery, the overcharge as well, but we're pushing into Disruptors. Here we go. More Nova's going to be arriving. Do you force the blink? At the same time, Nightmare, he has eyes on the 5th base here of SKillous. Will deny it. The Novas! As they dive in, and they will connect. Split's not going to be good enough. The blink, of course, was on cooldown. We have more Novas available. At the same time, though, SKillous has a massive army. Oh! They'll snipe 1. It's one, gets two of those disruptors. Good pickups here by SKillous. And he's taking some Novas to the face, but good snipes once again. There's only one disruptor left. And as Nightmare is losing disruptors, he's transitioning into Sky Toss. Carriers are on the way. Nightmare, he doesn't have to break his opponent. He did deny the 5th, by the way. Did force a cancel on that Nexus. Ooh, that was not a cancel. That was a kill. Ay. Was a kill on that base. More disruptors on the way. Now, on the one hand, yes, Nightmare has lost a lot of momentum. He lost, what was that, 4 disruptors? Sorry, 5. 5 disruptors went down in that fight. That is a good thing for SKillous, true. But Nightmare, he's just taking up even further. And carriers, Sky Toss is kind of the ideal in the late game of PvP. SKillous is still on Mass Blink Stalker, just refusing to tech. Now, to be fair, Mass Blink Stalker can work against a low amount of carriers. That is true. Oh, the Novas. He sees! No! Bobby! Oh! Novas go off! Ah, we do react. Do react in time. Oh my god. Nightmare has the Observer. He did have eyes on it. On the army. Thankfully, SKillous does retreat. But again, 3 carriers, these are a little bit vulnerable. Like, SKillous has potential to dive on them. But they have plenty of support on the ground. Yeah, carriers have arrived. We dive on forward, forcing back the Stalkers. Nova's going to be going off once again, connecting with the army. We do see SKillous going for a big counterattack. Does come across the 5th base. And he does cancel, does deny the warp in. Very nice moves there by SKillous. At the same time, can he deal with the main army though? Nightmare, he can just keep on pushing. Zoning back the army. That Nexus has fallen. Nightmare, he can keep pushing. Gonna be pulling back for a moment though. The Novas! No, could it be connecting? Moves out of SKillous. Does pull back in time. Still gonna be threatening with this harassing force, but there are defensive Stalkers. +3 done for both players. SKillous trying to force this back. He dives on the carriers. He gets one. One carrier goes down. Disruptor goes down as well. Good target firing out of SKillous once again. Does avoid that Nova. But again, it is so important that every time that we dive in, SKillous, he needs to pick off disruptors and carriers. He cannot allow Nightmare to get to critical mass. I'm talking 6 carriers. 6 carriers, you know, up to 6 disruptors as well. We have to stop that. We have to make sure that does not happen. As Nightmare pushes forward once again. Like, this is such an intense way to play for SKillous. Like, there's so much pressure on him to gain value with these Stalkers. As honestly, Nightmare, all he has to do is chill. If he just backs off and maxes out, like, Nightmare's gonna be fine. Another base soon to be taken. Nightmare rotating around. Once again, Nightmare, he has this Observer. He does see the army. Being very cheeky with this disruptor movements. Coming in from behind. Uh-oh. Blink is going to be used. The flanking disruptors! The Novas! Blink is on cooldown. Massive connections! And SKillous gets caught out at the same time, pushing out across the map. But once again, we have disruptors to defend. A good dive here by SKillous. A good dive, but we have an overcharge. We have a shield battery. Nightmare, he holds. And SKillous, he plummets in supply. Down 30 supply here for the first time. And we're running away with this. Nightmare, reinforcing with more disruptors. Hasn't made any additional carriers, which is interesting. Just focusing on disruptor for now. Honestly, this Observer has been the MVP. Like, this Observer allowed for that to happen. For those Novas to connect. The MVP Observer. That's next is going to be going down. Like, the Novas were good, that's true, but again, will not have happened without the detection, the vision of Nightmare. As he does pull back. Oh, did we lose it? Oh no. We lost it. The Observer just died. SKillous finally dealt with it. Yeah, he's got his own Observer here. But again, that Observer more than paid for itself. As SKillous now has the Observer. Oh, let's go. Stalker's going to be clashing. SKillous does have the slight army lead here. Oh! The Stalker lead. Is that the pullback? At the same time, another just marauding force here going to be clashing with the Stalkers of Nightmare. Let's force this back. SKillous trying to force his way into these disruptors though. Once again being zoned away. Nightmare getting another base up and running. SKillous still far behind here in the supplies. Up! Forcing out another blink. Dark Shrine is on the way to help harass. SKillous does have cannons and shield batteries in position at his fringe bases. Should be okay. Once again, Nightmare trying to come in with a flank. Won't be able to though. Let's force back the army. SKillous gonna be able to avoid it. Comes in from behind. Does get 10 probes. Good damage here by SKillous, but this is gonna be a one-way trip. Yeah, we're forced to recall. Oh, a lot of stalkers going down. I'm not too sure if that was worth it. 10 probes is a good amount of damage, that's true, but that was a lot of stalkers going down. And you can see Nightmare has a massive bank, at least a gas bank. SKillous less so. See SKillous trying to come in from behind. The disruptors up the flank. SKillous with the dive. He gets 1. He gets 2, 3. Every single disruptor going to be going down. A massive pick off there by SKillous. It was his turn to outmaneuver his opponent. Likewise, the carriers are exposed as well. He came in from behind, took down the balls, took down the carriers as well. And just like that, in one swift move, SKillous takes a massive fight. And now he has an insane stalker lead. He has the better upgrades. He can keep pushing. Nightmare, he's in a lot of trouble. Is in trouble here. You have more reinforcing stalkers, disruptors on the way. Really good movement out of SKillous. And he goes for the dive. Gets on top of the army. SKillous gonna have to pull back. More disruptors on the way. That was a really good move, but Nightmare, he is remaxing. He's recovering. Remember, Nightmare, he's the player with the bank. SKillous, not so much. So SKillous, you're gonna have to do that again. You're gonna do it all over again, man. Aye, aye, aye. We are pushing in. We shut down some of the cannons, some of the shield batteries, going for another big counterattack as well. Nightmare out of position. DTs will force this back. But top left is going to go down. Forcing a recoil. Can we stab the base? Oh, it's going to be close. And we barely do. The base goes down. We can take a fight as well. Nightmare, not enough stalkers. A plundered recall. At the same time, we are pushing in. Let's go. Not paying attention. Massive connection. SKillous, he kills the base. But he also does plummet in supply once again. Aye, aye, aye. Again, SKillous, he's on 3-3-2 upgrades, plus 3 shields. Still not quite researched, but again, just doubling down on Mass Stalker, and he's almost making it work. Almost. Still so close. Again, he does have a more maneuverable army, so he can dive, shut down the Nexus. Another base is going to be going down. Nightmare out of position. And SKillous, he can take a fight here as well. Nightmare forced to retreat. So in the blink of an eye, 2 bases go down. You can see here, Nightmare, he had too much supply towards the north, not enough towards the south. As we are forced to recall. DT is wreaking havoc. Once again from behind, the disruptors. Both of them going to be going down. Big overextension here from Nightmare. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Once again, the disruptor count was reset. We have 2 disruptors left. It's all about positional play. Plus 3 shields on the way for SKillous. So far, good blinks here, good concave. SKillous forcing back the army. Again, he has the better upgrades overall. He has the superior stalkers. Gonna be able to force this back. At the same time, oh my god, that's a lot of DTs. That's gonna be 10 Dark Templar heading towards the Nexus, and they can just dive on top of this army. They have blink. Did you retreat? At the same time, Nova's gonna be going up. SKillous! No! Wasn't quite looking. Takes another Nova to the face. Ay, ay, ay. All it takes is one sometimes. A better concave here by SKillous. Takes a better engage. But again, Nightmare forcing his way through. Blinks on forward. Gets on top of these stalkers. At the same time, SKillous going for his own counterattack here. Hitting this base once again. Nightmare, though, he doesn't care. He has enough here towards the south. He can break through. We have the overcharge. Overcharge will force Nightmare back. At the same time, 17 stalkers going down. sorry, Stalkers. 17 probes going down as SKillous, he brings down this fresh base. Likewise, DTs come in. Bases are falling. Nightmare hurting here in the economy, but DTs are still threatening these bases of SKillous. Diving into the main, and not much to kill here. They do get on top of the cannon. A good positioning with these Stalkers. We should clean this up. DTs going down. We have more DTs harassing here towards the north. We have stacked defense. Is it enough though? Go for the cannon. Up. Cannon goes down. And the DTs, they dive into the mineral line at the same time. SKillous pushing on forward. It feels like SKillous, he's in control here, but he might lose a base. Here, Stalkers, they come in to defend. Clean up the Dark Templar. And Nightmare, he's running out of money. Nightmare, he's running out of money. He needs a base. He's been desperately trying to double expand, and every single time SKillous is there to stop him. SKillous, he has the better economy at this point. He has money, the resources to sustain himself. Nightmare doesn't. Time and time again. How many times has this base and this base fallen? 5, 6? The bases keep getting knocked down, and SKillous, he has mining. That's what's important. He has top left, he has bottom right, soon to be bottom right. Stalkers come in. We have DTs to harass. Once again, the base is denied. And SKillous collapsing on this position from both angles. Let's go. 15 probes go down. DTs trying to harass, but they don't find much damage. SKillous, he defends. Once again, rotating in. He's looking for the base, content that he's just denying this Nexus over and over again. We need a sick. We need a sick Nexus. Nightmare just can't get one. Does force back these Stalkers. Once again, SKillous moves in, catches more probes. Nightmare down to 29 workers. Going to be committing here, forcing a recall. Does force a recall, but with an overcharge, we can fight this back. Pick up the disruptors. And it's going to be going up. Up! We do have Blinks. We do have Blinks available. We barely avoid the Novas here. And again, across the map, we have lost 22 probes. And yeah, we're all in at this point. Nightmare, it's all or nothing. And I mean, he made good use of these disruptors, but he was never able to get his economy up and running. He was never able to take a 6th base. And that was the win condition here for SKillous. And SKillous is nobling out of control. Mass Stalker is all you need, Papi. GG gets called, and SKillous will take down Nightmare 1-0. GG, well played. The king is dead. All hail your new king, SKillous. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Again, this was a best of 1. Nightmare was our king of the hill of OSC King of the Hill 156. And now SKillous has claimed his throne here. And he's going to be sticking around for a little bit longer. GG. That was an intense PvP, by the way. It was really interesting. Again, Nightmare, at a certain point, had a really nice lead. He was able to get his bases up and running, able to tech up into disruptors, into those carriers. I do want to say that the moment that the momentum swung in favor of SKillous was when he was able to catch those carriers. Not just carriers, remember, he set up a trap where he was coming in from the left-hand side. He was able to flank the army. He shut down, I think it was 4 disruptors and 3 carriers. And that was a big pick-off there for SKillous, shutting down the tech advantage that Nightmare had. And after he shut down the tech advantage, then it was all about denying the 6th base, denying the economy here over and over again. And Nightmare just couldn't really facilitate, like, replacing his Skytoss units, his carriers, his Skytoss army. He was committed to mass Stalker Disruptor, and we had some good Novas, some really good Novas, which made things close, but was not enough. The other big thing as well, is of course the fact that, what was I about to say? All right, the DTs. It was a big investment into Dark Templar, big investment into DTs, and it wasn't really worth it. There was potential. Like, we saw a lot of Dark Templar moving out, and they were harassing, they were causing some chaos, true, but we never really saw them kill a base or really deal any critical damage. It was doing a decent job at keeping Nightmare in the game and distracting his opponent and allowing for Novas, but outside of that, I think we were hoping for a little bit more from those Dark Templar as well. We're hoping for more. As we are getting ready for our next match. We're getting ready here for our next series, for our next best of one. SKillous, of course, going to be the reigning king of the hill, and who steps up to bring him down? We're heading over to the European server. We're heading over for another PvP. Ah, let's go. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As we have our contender. And as you can see here, bam, on the screen, it's going to be another PvP. SKillous versus Rostok. Those who are unaware, Rostok, of course, is a Ukrainian Protoss player and has been a very active player in the online tournament scene. We've been featuring him quite a lot when it comes to Sparkling Tuna Cups, OSC King of the Hills, as well as the Christmas Cup. Was also competing in the Christmas Cup, or is also competing in the Christmas Cup as well. So Rostok has been very active and has been improving quite a lot over the past 12 months. But can he bring down a player of the caliber of SKillous, as SKillous is one of the best in EU? Here we go. Here we go. Catching up in the chat. But yes, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the Wikipedia page. If you guys want to have a look at the matches that we did already go over. Again, this is a best of one format, King of the Hill, and we have 15 best of ones. 15 best of ones laying before us. And we have a pool of players that, of course, are reaching out to the admin as we speak, asking for a slot, asking for a chance here to face off against SKillous. And it is on Eddie, our lovely admin, and the lovely CEO, the owner of OSC, that is kind of picking and choosing and sending players out at his whim. Oh, he's an animal, Bob. He's an animal. He creates a storyline here, and yeah, there's always a lot of people, a lot of players that are a part of this. Björn is a part of this. Who else? Solar at times. Some big names like Spirit, like who else comes to mind? MaxPax. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who takes part. We typically have a lot of the Polish Protoss players like Krystianer, Gerald, Ziomek, Rodzin. They're typically a part of this as well. Players like Eba. Your regulars in OSC. And we'll see who it does come down to. Again, the players are just conducting their vetoes and sorting out their map order as well. They are sorting things out on their end. And the challenger has a pretty big advantage. I mentioned before, the way this works is the current King of the Hill gets one veto. One singular veto. And then the challenger gets to pick whatever map they want from there. And not just whatever map they want, something special and something that we will see at some point, I'm sure, is this is an extended map pool. We have the ladder maps, that is true. We have our regular standard ladder maps. But we also have some older maps that are allowed to be played as well. So if you're a more older school fan of StarCraft, of the competitive scene, you would be familiar with maps like 2000 Atmospheres, Ancient Cistern, and Gref. I just mentioned two maps from the last map pool, so they're pretty new. Ancient Cistern and Gref are from the previous map pool, from the previous season. 2000 Atmospheres is from quite a number of years ago. I think like 2020, 2021. Like it's been a couple of years since 2000 Atmospheres, but that is also a map here that is available to our players if they do want to play it. If they do want to rock out on it. Here we go. We have our map chosen. We have our lobby. And we're going to be loading in to Oceanborn. Let's go. We have our map of choice. Okay, Oceanborn is going to be an interesting one. There are some very popular proxy locations on Oceanborn if we wanted to go for something like a proxy Stargate, for example, or even a one-base all-in. I'm expecting aggression here. That's what I expect out of Oceanborn. But we'll see. We'll see what Rostok has up his sleeve. Again, upsets also happen in this kind of format. I mentioned before, it's a best of one. Anything can happen in a best of one, and taking one map off of a player, even a player that is considered to be stronger than you, is not out of the realm of possibility. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Ukrainian Protoss player representing CSO Esports. It is Rostok. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the reigning king of the hill with one win under his belt. How many can he bank up? Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. Also, for those that are maybe unfamiliar with the UI here, it is a best of one, but because it's King of the Hill, players can accumulate kind of win streaks, or kill streaks, of course. So SKillous currently has one victim, has one player under his belt, and we'll see how far he can go. Those that are curious as well, when it comes to the prize pool, and when it comes to the payouts, basically, every win nets you more money. You're able to just get more and more out of this event as you get more wins under your belt. I also believe there is a kind of quote-unquote bounty system where if a player gets enough wins, then you get a bonus if you bring them down. So if SKillous goes on like a 7-game win streak and then he gets knocked down, then whoever brings him down gets a bit of a bonus there as a result. I believe there's something along those lines. I could be crazy though. I could be crazy. I'm sure Eddie can clarify. As Rostok is going to be coming in with the probe scouts, dipping into the main base. Likewise, it's going to be a 2-gate opener. Second pylon has been thrown down here by SKillous, so a standard opener out of our blue Protoss player. Likewise, Rostok also throws out his second pylon in the main base. No proxies. No cheese yet. Everything is looking standard. Everything is looking normal. We'll see what our first units of choice are going to be. We have Rostok going for a Stalker Sentry opener. Likewise, SKillous going for Double Adept. So a more aggressive opener here by SKillous. Something a lot more defensive from Rostok. The purpose of this Sentry, again, the power behind a Sentry-based opener is scouting information. You gain access to a hallucination. Hallucination Scout will tell you everything you need to know. The downside here is your lack of DPS. Is that if your opponent is being hyper-aggressive, if they push out with Stalkers, then you may be in a bit of trouble here because you don't really have a lot of DPS, a lot of damage potential available with your army with all these sentries. So there's a bit of a give and take. You of course can't be aggressive, you can't be active, you can't push out. You can't be in the face of your opponent. So Rostok taking a very defensive stance, and he will go for a faster Nexus. Okay. So very safe, very economic play here out of Rostok. Going to be able to wall up. Faster base across the map. The pylon block going to be slowing SKillous down. And we have our take of choice. SKillous going for a Twilight Council. Okay, so we're going to be getting to faster blink from our blue Protoss. And there's our expansion. So SKillous will have a later expansion, but we'll have faster blink. And the Hallucination Scout comes in. Rostok sees everything. He does confirm, the Twilight Council does confirm that there is an expansion. So good scouting here by Rostok. He's aware of what's happening. They should be feeling pretty safe. Now once again, SKillous does have quite a hefty army here. That's also why we need the shield battery. We need that shield battery here to defend, to survive. So hold on. Meanwhile, another... Oh my god! Another Hallucination Scout coming in. SKillous getting ready for potentially a third base. Throws down the pylon. Hallucination confirms lack of additional gateways. And confirms the main arting probes. So again, Rostok is just confirming that there's no one base all in. And likewise, SKillous going for his own scouts. SKillous has been in the dark. He hasn't really seen much at all since the early game. He actually doesn't know what kind of tech we're working with. For all SKillous knows, I mean, it could be Robo, could be Stargate. SKillous needs to confirm. And it's all about the hallucinations here in PvP. We get in, we confirm the blink, of course. SKillous should be aware that he has a lead when it comes to the blink timing. So he can try to make use of it. Stalkers are moving out. Blink a couple of seconds away. Meanwhile, the Adepts did bypass the Stalkers. Rostok, he can slip in. does threaten the shade, does get into the main. Oh my god. We get into the main base and 2 adepts, they one-shot probes. 1 worker going to be going down. 2, soon to be 3. Meanwhile, across the map, the stalkers have arrived. They shut down the would-be pylon. They delay the 3rd. Oh, but that's a lot of economic damage. 5 probes go down. That is not insignificant. And with that, Rostok takes a worker lead. Quite a hefty worker lead at that. As I say that, SKillous going to be pushing in again. He has Blink over his opponent. Guardian Shield helping out a little bit. Good control out of SKillous. Does pull back. At the same time, adepts get in. Ooh, and they're getting even more done here. 8 probes go down. Ah, God. Rostok initially was looking good. Suddenly, less so here. As we get 9 probes. Almost a 10th probe in the main base as well. Oh, he wants it. He gets a 10th probe. And just like that, SKillous suddenly is ahead. He takes a lead in workers. Again, adepts are so terrifying in this matchup because all it takes is 2 adepts to shade in and you can just have your way with the economy. SKillous has recovered, getting his 3rd base up and running, catches some of these stalkers as well. And Rostok is in a bit of trouble. There's a lot of pressure here on our red Protoss to get across the map with more adepts or to take up in a different direction. Speaking of... Oh, never mind. I saw the hallucination earlier. I thought it was coming in. But we are getting into Immortal production. This makes sense. So, Rostok, he knows that he's going to be behind in the Blink Stalkers, so we're making up for it with Immortals. Immortals on the way. We have +1 attack. Meanwhile, SKillous doubling down on massive Gateway army. Blink Stalkers and Zealots. As we already saw against Nightmare, SKillous is embracing the Swarm Toss style. As we're going for a 5 Gateway explosion. That's a lot of gates. So it looks like once again SKillous is going to be relying on Mass Blink Stalker and Zealots. Meanwhile, Rostok is trying to tech up and he's going to have to take a more defensive position here back at home. Again, he should be aware that he lost a little bit too many probes. He should be aware that he's behind in the economy, behind in the army. So he's kind of stuck back at home. SKillous, oh my god. Taking up even further, going for the dark. He's not even behind. You know, some say when behind at Dark Shrine. SKillous says anytime Dark Shrine. Let's go, man. Let's go. Dark Templar going to be on the way. SKillous pushing out. Prism maneuvering towards the south. He does catch the... Oh! Never mind. Almost caught the hallucination, but does slip by. Gets eyes on the 4th. Gets eyes on the army, more importantly. Rostok getting in position. He's lying in wait here on top of the ramp. Likewise, at the same time, SKillous getting ready with his own War Prism to harass. Zealots are on the way. Ooh, a bit of a preemptive Guardian Shield there from Rostok. Did get baited out. Behind this 4th base is on the way. SKillous still trying to find a way in. Has been posturing. Ooh, we'll be losing a Stalker. But here we go. We have Zealots pushing towards the 4th. We have the drop pushing into the main. And we'll have the main army pushing either towards the 3rd base or the natural. Bit of a tri-pronged attack set up here from SKillous. He's going in. Zealots do reveal themselves. SKillous pushing forward. Does trigger the shields on that Immortal. He'll be pulling back. Prism slipping into the main base. Big Warband of Dark Templar to support. DTs are on the way. SKillous gaining ground towards the 4th base as well. He is looking to snowball out of control. And yeah, GG gets called. There's no big fight. It's too much to handle. And SKillous will take down another challenger. Will take down another player. He is still our king of the hill. GG. GG, well played. An impressive game there out of SKillous in quite a lot of control. There was a good moment for Rostok when he was able to shade in, when he was able to get into a mineral line and kill some probes, that is true. But he killed 5 workers, and SKillous, he doubled that. He went across the map, killed 10 workers of his own, was able to deny the 3rd base, and able to gain quite a lot of value with his army. He was just all over it. And with that, SKillous gets another win. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we need another challenger. We need someone else to step up here to bring SKillous down. Oh, and we have a challenger. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. We are staying on the European server. And this time, it will not be a PvP. We have more than just Protoss. It's shocking, I know. We do have a lot of Protoss. And I'm sure we're going to get some more PvPs to come. But, we will have a PvT instead. Just setting the players up here. And getting things ready. Oh, there we go. Shout out to Eddie in the chat, letting us know that yes, there is a bonus. There is a bonus bounty if a player goes on an 8-game win streak, 8 games, or even 16. There you go. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bobby. Good afternoon. Eddie, go. Eddie, he's got a lot of passion, Bobby. A lot of passion. For many years, Eddie, of course, has been hosting, organizing, funding events for StarCraft. Not just StarCraft, but also other tournaments. Other esports like Hearthstone as well. So, big shout out to Eddie. Much love, much love. We'd be worse off. We'd be worse off without Eddie and without OSC. So, a lot of respect. And, if you're curious, we have a PvT. We have a Terran player. We have a Terran would-be usurper. It's going to be the Romanian Terran player. From my understanding, I think there's only one notable Romanian Terran, but it is going to be CuKu. Let's go. SKillous versus CuKu in a best-of-1. And we'll see if CuKu can bring SKillous down. We'll see if anyone can bring him down. Honestly, it was a crazy first-round match. Nightmare versus SKillous, very high profile. Both players had potential to go for a deep run here in this tournament. A deep run in OSC. And can anyone bring them down? Oh boy. Can anyone do it? Do I want predictions? do we get predictions going? The difficult thing about predictions here is that it's best of 1, so that's a lot of predictions we're gonna be having tonight, and sometimes we don't have a lot of time, but okay, here we go. We'll get some predictions going. I know how people want their Gamba in the chat. I'm shaking my head. Shaking my head. But yeah, we are just setting things up for this. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open. You can place your bets on whether or not you think SKillous will stay on top of the throne or CuKu can bring him down. Best of luck. We have our map of choice. It is going to be Solaris. Here we go. It is going to be Solaris here. Just setting up an alias. Beautiful. Okay. I do see a couple of other people lurking in the in-game chat channel as well. I can see BabyMarine, I can see Fiant, I can see Trifax as well. Got my eyes on you, players. Got my eyes on you. Potentially NightPhoenix as well. Oh, who else did I see? I saw Spirit. Oh, Bappy. Spirit is going to be another big contender as well if he does take part. If he does take part. I know that Wardy is hosting an event, right? Wardy, he's hosting an event, so if there are players that are part of that, then they won't be available for OSC. But I think the only big player there is MaxFax, right? Yeah, MaxFax is a part of that. We should be good. Should be good. Should be good to go. And here we go. You can hear the beeps. The lobby is ready. We're loading it. We will be loading it. In our third best of one on the night As a reminder, 15 in total. A lot of matches to be had. Still in the early hours, and I'm ready. I'm ready to sink my teeth into something that isn't a PvP. For now. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have our current King of the Hill representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Romanian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Red Pack Esports. It is CuKu. And again, because it's a best of one, my eyes are on CuKu here. Like, I'm curious, what do we bring to the table? How do we trip SKillous up? We have casted CuKu in the past, and we have seen a lot of 2-base play. We've seen a lot of 2-base aggression and 2-base all-ins out of CuKu before. Will we see it again? My money is on some kind of aggression here, but we'll see how this all comes together. 1-base all-ins are not unheard of in this matchup either. Solaris does have speed zones in the center of the map, so all-ins can hit a little bit faster. They can make use of them. But it's going to be difficult as well, just because of this ramp. This ramp is brutal. It is so narrow here, right outside the natural base. If SKillous sees an attack coming ahead of time, yo, give us like one solid force field, the army on top of the ramp as well. We can shut down aggression. It can be difficult to actually make use of it, or to actually move out. We'll see. We'll see if SKillous can keep up. Oh, okay. You have my attention. So it's going to be a Rax expand. It's going to be a single gas opener here from CuKu. Going to be going for a CC on the low ground. Forced to bring another SCV down. SKillous being so annoying. But this is a reactor first, not a Reaper or a Marine. So a little bit greedy there from CuKu. Now with this reactor Rax, we can reactor out Reapers 2 at a time. I'm curious if that's going to be the case. SKillous did not get eyes on the reactor, is unaware. And no, we're going to be reactoring out Marines. Okay. Marines going to be amassing back at home. Factory is on the way. An abundance of Marines here in the early game. Again, really defensive play here out of CuKu. And a little bit risky as well. So, I don't know if you noticed something, but CuKu did not SCV scout. No SCV scout. No Reaper scout either, because we went Marine first, or into Marines. So CuKu has no idea what's going on. It could be a Stargate opener, could be Robo, could be Twilight Council. I feel like it's pretty important in this matchup for the Terran player to recognize what kind of tech the Protoss is working with. So yeah, CuKu is going to be playing blind, going to be playing in the dark. Meanwhile, SKillous, he can kind of do whatever he wants at this point. And it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. It is going to be Blink Stalkers. But how committed? How many gateways? How many Blink Stalkers? As the Marine count is amassing. Very pronounced up going into Hellions? Okay. This does make sense. Hellions, their purpose should be to scout. Their purpose should be to get across the map, to bypass the army, slip into the mineral lines, slip into the main base, and get a read on what's happening. Out of CuKu, does zone away those adepts. Hellions have arrived. Interesting, we're going for a safety Viking as well, which would help against a Stargate opener that isn't on the way. So, interesting. There we go. Hellions going to be rotating around. They do skirt the edge of the map. They do bypass the units of SKillous. And as we mentioned, their goal here is to scout his opponent. We will be able to slip in. Oh! Not quite. Stalkers are back at home, and the Robo has been spotted. And CuKu should be able to piece together that, yeah, there we go, he cancels. He is aware it's not a Stargate, so medevac is on the way. Second Viking does get cancelled. So CuKu is piecing this together. Gonna be able to shut down some of these adepts with good trades here out of SKillous, getting another Marine. As SKillous is going for, I believe, 2 gateways into a third. Oh, my apologies. 3 gates into a third. Okay, a little bit more aggressive here. So 3-gate blink does mean that SKillous can gain map control. He can push out across the map. War Prism going to be on the way to reinforce. That's a couple more SCVs to go down. Aliens, they do confirm the would-be third. It will delay it. Good news here out of CuKu. Behind this, getting into tank production. How many tanks do we have, by the way? We have 1 tank on the low ground. No bunkers. No bunkers are available. CuKu going for an empty medevac drop across the map to fake out his opponent. And we're pushing. Uh-oh. As CuKu moves out, SKillous is moving in. There's nothing at home to defend. We will be camping the production. CuKu is going to be committing, and SKillous can always recall. He can always recall back home. CuKu he's just sending it, going for a big all-in. Didn't make any workers here at the natural. It's all or nothing. GG gets called. GG gets called as CuKu just knew that the writing was on the wall there, and SKillous will take down CuKu. GG. GG, well played. That was so unfortunate. That was so unfortunate where CuKu just happened to be pushing as SKillous was moving in as well. Caught him with his pants down, camped the production, shut everything down, and again, SKillous was fine. He can just recall. He just recall back home and deal with any kind of counterattack. GG, well played. With that, SKillous is still our king of the hill. Once again, I appreciate that CuKu did try to whip out an all-in. I do think that's maybe the way to go here in these best of ones, but again, SKillous was just in control for most of that game. Was in control and does bring him down, and with that, who's next? With that, who is next? Oh my god, someone doubled down on CuKu, Papi. Oh my god. Crazy. But who is next here? As SKillous, he's been flexing his PvP. He now gets a PvT under his belt as well. Do we have a Zerg player? Do we whip out a Zerg? Do we go back to Protoss versus Protoss, which could be a very chaotic matchup? What's next? What is next? Or who is next? My apologies. Oh, let's go. Okay, so we have a bit of a debut here. A player that we have casted in the past, of course. A player near and dear to our hearts, but competing for the first time in OSC King of the Hill, it is going to be a Protoss player from the land of the Netherlands. It is going to be HiGhDrA. Let's go. HiGhDrA has been improving quite a bit over the past, I want to say, year as well. HiGhDrA has been on the rise. We've been seeing him get better and better performances over the past 6 or so months. And, I mean, hey, it's a PvP. It's a PvP. Anything can happen. Let's go. I want to believe. I do want to believe. As the players are just conducting their vetoes, and we are getting things ready. Okay, when it comes to vetoes, SKillous is going to be getting rid of Hecate, and we have our map of choice. It's going to be Oceanborn. Here we go. Oceanborn is coming up next. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions are open, so you can place your bets on who you think will come out on top. And who you think can stop SKillous, if anyone. Can anyone stop this man? Let's go. Let's get an exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the overall tournament format, the Wikipedia page, the matches that we have already covered, and how many matches are left. There's still a lot. A lot to go through. A lot of chances to bring SKillous down, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. The bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss from the land of the Netherlands representing Team Roddy. It is HiGhDrA. Let's go. Can HiGhDrA achieve what Nightmare and Rostok could not in a PvP? Let's go. Gateway's going to be thrown down. Everything looking as it should for the time being. SKillous going for a very early probe scout. A little bit paranoid. I don't blame him. As we mentioned before, Oceanborn is a pretty devastating matchup in PvP. Devastating map even. Oceanborn has a lot of proxy locations, and because, yes, there is a ramp leading into the natural, but there is a alternate way, an alternate path to get onto the high ground to push towards the third base and towards the natural as well. All-ins can be brutal. All-ins can hit very hard here on Oceanborn, on 1 or 2 bases. A lot of proxy locations as well. And HiGhDrA is going to be moving out towards the southern half of the map, and this wouldn't be a bad location for something like a proxy Stargate. SKillous comes in for a probe scout. He is in the mineral line, and he should recognize, hold up, where's your pylon? We can see it's elsewhere. It's out on the map. Pylon has been hidden. Now, this is looking like a fake proxy pylon. The probe leaves. Probe does leave, so SKillous should be feeling pretty... I mean, say Skills. We should see that SKillous should be feeling pretty concerned just because he knows it's not here. He knows it's not at home. It could be real. It could be fake. SKillous needs to scout. He needs to confirm. As HiGhDrA is going to be dipping into the main base. Getting a full scout. Looking for the third pylon, which is hidden here further in the main. Is unaware. SKillous going for a robo. Setting up defensively. Probe is going to be forced back. Again, a robo-based opener is a very safe way to play just because it gives you access to fast immortals to defend against a one-base all-in. Now, this defensive opener can turn into an aggressive one if we throw down a third gateway and if we go for a War Prison first. And there it is! Third gateway is on the way. SKillous is going for a one-base all-in. Likewise, he is fanning out with his units. You can see SKillous, he's looking. He has a probe towards the left, stalker towards the right, stalker towards the center. He is looking for the proxy, looking for the gateway or the robo. But he finds nothing. And as he finds nothing, he's going to be the aggressor instead. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going for a Twilight Council opener into Blink. HiGhDrA may be thinking about expanding. Is moving out with the Stalkers. Does catch SKillous. Oh. And he will pick off one Stalker. Good pick off here from HiGhDrA. A very nice trade. Meanwhile, SKillous throwing down a proxy pylon to reinforce across the map. Again, SKillous is all in on one base, and HiGhDrA still piecing it together. He expands. Oh, HiGhDrA, he's expanding. He doesn't have a robo. Throws down a shield battery on the low ground. Can HiGhDrA survive? Can he hold up? Good positioning here from SKillous, making use of the tall grass. Gets an extra stalker. Reinforcements on the way. Oh, SKillous is in an awkward position, but we can see the gateways. We can see how many units are being warped in. HiGhDrA knows. He now knows what's going on. But knowing is half the battle, and can HiGhDrA survive here? He's only got 2 gates. A third gateway just now starts. Blink is on the way, halfway done. SKillous has arrived. HiGhDrA gets the first shot. Does pull back to the shield battery. Good micro there out of SKillous. Does avoid those shots. Does preserve those stalkers. He essentially has defensive blink. Has a defensive blink available with that prism. He can juggle. Oh. As we do push on forward, we have enough to 2-shot even. To 1-shot. Stalkers going down one after the other. The pylon, the Artosis pylon going to be going down. Every single shield battery gets depowered, and there's just too much. GG gets called. HiGhDrA cannot defend. And SKillous maintains his position here, is still our king of the hill. GG. GG, well played. Again, it just took a little bit too long for HiGhDrA to recognize what was happening. HiGhDrA unfortunately did commit to a Twilight Council, which is not ideal to defend against a one base all in. The reason for this is because Blink finishes too late. Blink finishes too late, and again, we need something more robust, whether it's Void Rays or additional Stalkers or Immortals with a Robo. We did need a little bit more there to defend, and yeah, HiGhDrA was quite exposed there on the low ground. Did piece together the all-in a little bit too late. And with that, SKillous takes another win, claims another victim. Oh boy, but this is what I've been waiting for. We've had a lot of PvPs, we've had a lot of PvTs. Clearly, we need someone else. We need another race to bring him down. PvP unwinnable, PvT unwinnable. What about PvZ? What about Zerg? We are heading over to Land of the Americas for our next matchup. Let's go. And that can mean only one thing. A player from either the Americas, maybe a player from Korea, maybe a player from Southeast Asia is going to be stepping up against SKillous. Let's go. And it is going to be the King of the Sea. The King of the Sea himself. Vámonos, papi. It is going to be MeomaikA. MeomaikA. I haven't casted MeomaikA in so long. I miss him dearly. Miss him so much. MeomaikA has been a little bit more inactive recently. He's been focusing on IRL commitments, on his IRL job. MeomaikA has been elsewhere. And it's great to see him back. Great to see him return here. Return to form. And if anyone can bring SKillous down, I believe. I want to believe in MeomaikA. A very unorthodox player, very aggressive player as well, known for his laying HiGhDrA play in this matchup. Very fond of HiGhDRAs in ZVP. But at the same time, I mean, he has a reputation. MeomaikA has a reputation. And I'm sure SKillous is aware. Sure he is aware. Now again, just because you know what's coming your way doesn't mean you can survive it. We've seen MeomaikA bring down some big names. We've seen him bring down players like Spirit, players like Hearthstone as well. MeomaikA, he has brought low some big Protoss players in Europe. But MeomaikA also has his thoughts on this matchup as well. He's not too fond of things like Glaive Adepts, things like Disruptors. Especially because of MeomaikA's playstyle, he's quite vulnerable to that sort of thing. So I'm curious. I'm curious how SKillous will open up and what kind of build he does whip out here against MeomaikA. Specifically, I do think that Meo can be quite vulnerable to something like Glaive Adepts. I'm also curious what map we play on. Yo, we may play on an old map. A big reason why 2000 Atmospheres, Ancient Sister, and Gref are in the map pool is because they are more Zerg favored maps, and they could be featured here. I'm ready for it. Let's go. I am ready for it. Once we get our lobby, we'll play out our Vitas. We'll get our Vitas going. We'll get there. Just catching up with the chat. Catching up. Hello, Terran Lord. Hello. Hello, Cyber John as well. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Iron Krystianer. Oh, the squirrel fun. Oh. Hope you're enjoying your nuts. Hope you enjoy. I hope you're having a great weekend full of StarCraft. Again, a lot of tournaments are going to be played out here tonight. And predictions are open. If you're in the chat, best of luck. And place your bets on whether or not you think that SKillous can be brought low, or whether he continues his reign of terror, the reign of Protoss. Can he be stopped? Let's go. We have our next map. It is going to be Oceanborn. Interesting. Not gonna lie, I was half expecting a larger map. I was half expecting 2000 Atmospheres, but okay. Let's go. You have my attention, Mia. What have you been cooking? Again, I haven't casted MeomaikA in months? Like, it's been a long time. I think the last time was like beginning of December, maybe end of November. It's been far too long. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Vietnamese Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Team Gosu. It is MeomaikA. The last King of the Sea, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the reigning King of the Hill, the red Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Hold on, I'll fix it. MeomaikA. Bam. There we go. The King of the Hill up against the last King of the Sea, as we are going for a pool first opener. Now, this is standard, so don't get things twisted. MeomaikA very commonly in this matchup goes pool first. This is not for aggression. This is to deal with any kind of early game shenanigans, and just as a safe way to open up here in ZVP. It is a little bit inefficient, that is true, but MeomaikA is willing to play inefficiently in more ways than one. Like, he's oh my god, we get it just in time. Natural base barely delayed there by SKillous, forcing the unnatural natural out of MeomaikA. That was so close. That was very clutch. But nice moves out of SKillous will disrupt the opener. Behind this, it's going to be a faster gas instead. Okay. Now, this would-be safe opener can become an aggressive one. With this fast gas, we can get into really fast ling speed, or into a fast lair. Now, I mentioned it leading into this about how MeomaikA is known for his HiGhDrA play. There is a specific MeomaikA build where he does open up 2-base lair. He goes into a very fast lair. He takes 3 gases, not 4. It's 3 gases and goes 2-base HiGhDrA. That is a build that MeomaikA is quite fond of. But as I mentioned, I haven't casted MeomaikA in around a month. So I wonder if he's still, if he has kind of adapted or has kind of learned or fallen in love with a new build with something different. MeomaikA, he comes in like waves of trends where he does kind of refine his play every couple of months and does bring something new to the table. So I am ready for it. As a big shout out Chileno in the chat. Oh my god, Chileno Singaporean resubscribing for 35 months. Ga, papi, ga. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for subscribing. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. Always do appreciate the support. Thank you so much for supporting us for so long. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the casting, the content. As we're going for a Twilight Council opener, which I do like. I do think this is a really good choice for SKillous. So MeomaikA, he thrives in chaos, and he thrives when his opponent is uncomfortable, when his opponent is playing standard. MeomaikA struggles when his opponent is being the aggressor. Here we go. Twilight Council's on the way, additional gateways as well. This should be Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts here out of SKillous. And the MeomaikA, for the time being, is still in the midst of droning. Safety Spore Crawler going to be on the way. Very early Spore here from Meo. Is going to be droning. Yeah, additional Spores on the way as well. And Spores won't be necessary because there it is. Glaives is in production. Now, this is a unique form of Glaive Adepts. Did mention before. This is going to be 4-gate Glaives. That is true. But there's no Robo. No Robo with this. This means it's a more economic variation of Glaive Adepts, where instead of investing into a Robo, instead of investing into a Warp Prism, we get a faster third. Third base is going to be on the way. Meanwhile, Lynx have arrived. They do shut down the Stalker. Stalker going to be going down. We do get one Adept as well. Good pickoff, and we are hunting down that probe. We will delay the third base. Again, good moves here out of MeomaikA. Does shut down some of the aggression. Should be aware of the Glaives. Oh, but he's going for the 2-base lair. No, he's taking additional gases. We see the Adepts. We need a Roach Warren. We need a Bailey Nest. We need something more than Lings. The Adepts have been revealed. We're moving out across the map. Roach Warren now gets thrown down, but this is a late Roach Warren. And again, the plan was to go into HiGhDRAs, or was to go into Lair Tech really quickly. Adepts are moving out. MeomaikA, he needs Lings. How many queens do we have? 2 queens. Oh god. Only 2 queens to defend. 20 Lings on the way though. Can we get us around? Can these Lings pull off a miracle and defend against Mass Glaive Adepts? I mean, thankfully it's only 9. Because there's no Warp Prism, because there's no Robo, we don't have reinforcing Adepts. what you see is what you get, but we do take control of the third base. Lava's being shot down. Threading a dive here into the natural. Roach Warren is done, but MeomaikA, he is supply blocked. 2 overlords on the way. Supply block has been broken. 4 roaches in production. And we do threaten the shade once again, and so far we're not committing. Spinecrawler does finish up here at the natural. And SKillous, he's content just chilling here at the third. Picking away at the base itself. And he's going to get out of here. So MeomaikA, on the one hand, true, he didn't lose any drones, but he was denied mining. He was denied any kind of mining here at this third base. We had cutting workers early on at 36, and we can see roaches on the way. It looks like MeomaikA is going for a 2-base all-in. There's a third hatchery, but no mining. No saturation here whatsoever. MeomaikA just amassing more roaches. Trying to get across the map with these lings. Doesn't get much done. Oh. As we are having some frame drops here. Hold on. Hopefully we're okay. Oh. Is it me? Hopefully it isn't, by the way. My latency is spiking quite a lot, actually, here on the US server. I'm okay on OBS, but I may end up leaving the game here if I do lag a little bit more. But here we go. We do see MeomaikA diving on forward here with the 2-base all-in. Val's going to be knocking down those force fields and getting on top of the army. Oh, do we have enough? Do we have enough to break through? The sentries are not going to be helping. They go down one after the other. The stalkers are the overcharges. But we have 4 shield. Oh my god, we are so prepared. 4 shield batteries here at the third. SKillous, he's going to shut this down so hard. GG gets caught, focusing down every single Ravager. He was so well prepared for the all-in, and SKillous will take down the King of the Hill. Look, the King of the Hill, the King of the Sea is what I meant to say. We'll take down the King of the Sea, and will hold on to his own crown. GG, well played. SKillous, he survives the all-in. Not just that though, but again, just really good preparation there out of SKillous, recognizing that, hold up, you're not droning, are you? You know, you don't have any saturation at your third base. There's only one course of action. It's gonna be the all-in, and SKillous had 4 shield batteries ready there at that third base. He was so prepared, and GG, well played. SKillous will bring down MeomaikA. Will bring him down, and the question becomes, who's next? Who comes next here? Who can challenge SKillous? Can anyone stop him? Because I believe SKillous is now a third of the way through the tournament. We have 15 best of ones, and that was our 5th one. That was our 5th best of one in favor of SKillous. He's got 5 wins under his belt. That's a lot of wins, Papi. That's a lot of wins. Is a lot of wins. Ooh, as here we go. Once again, we're going to be heading over to the European server. And I mentioned before that we had a brief reprieve, a brief break here from PvPs, but we're getting back into it. We have so many Protoss players available here, and up next is going to be a Polish Protoss player. Which one though? There's a lot of them. There are a lot of active Polish players out there that are part of this tournament as well. Who do you think? We have Gerald, we have Krystianer, we have Art, we have Ziomek, we have Rodzin, we have Papi. We have a lot. Here we go. So I'm just logging in. Logging into EU. Getting things set up. We do hop on over and we get ready with those predictions. Alright, getting things ready here, and this is going to be a pretty close one actually. I do consider these two players comparable in skill, especially in the PvP matchup. Up next, we have SKillous versus Krystianer. Let's go. Our PvP is soon to be upon us. Vetoes are currently underway, and Krystianer is picking, or is choosing his map of choice. Krystianer is coming up next. And we have our map. We have our lobby. Which means predictions are open. Best of luck. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, as we're going to be loading into hard lead for our game. Stage has been set. Oh boy. And SKillous, he's been on quite a roll so far. He has brought down a lot of players. But we've seen Krystianer really pop off in PvP before. He has brought down big names of the caliber of SKillous in the past. But we'll see if he can do it again. We shall see. As we are going to be loading in the hard lead. And spotting in the top left-hand corner, we have a red Protoss player from the land of Poland representing Team Blazer. We have our new challenger. We have Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner with 5 wins under his belt, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. 5 already. Remember, if he gets 8 wins, then suddenly a bounty gets placed on his head, and you do get a bonus if you do bring SKillous down. Can he get those 8 wins though? Can he get that far here in this tournament without dropping a map? We shall see. Now, once again, we're going to be loading into another PvP. Once again, we should be seeing double gate openers from both Krystianer and SKillous. When it comes to this map of hard lead, it is a very short rush distance by ground. Aggression can be quite difficult to deal with, and we could see either SKillous or Krystianer even commit to a 1-base all-in. Or a proxy. Not uncommon. Not uncommon here for our players. SKillous going to be moving out with the probe scouts, sending it across the map. Meanwhile, Krystianer doesn't have a probe out on the map yet, just now sending his own out as well. We'll see if we do decide to proxy. My eyes are on this probe as we do head around the right-hand side, skirting around the edge of the map. Likewise, second pylon. Never mind. Never mind. Second pylon has been thrown down. Look like a standard opener here from Krystianer. Likewise, a standard opener out of SKillous, as both pylons are in each other's respective bases. So no proxies. No proxies whatsoever. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't go for an all-in, but for now, everything is looking as it should. We can see SKillous setting up his pylon on the low ground, so he's setting up for an expansion. At least making it look like he wants to expand. Krystianer will confirm the placement of the pylon. He is aware. Likewise, Krystianer also has his own pylon on the low ground, which means we should be taking our next eye. It's going to be double Stalker here from Krystianer. Going to be double Stalker out of SKillous as well. Ooh, SKillous going for the Robo. Krystianer's expanding. Rolls are being taken here. SKillous setting up, yep, a 1-base all-in. Gateway is on the way. 3 gateways. We have a Robo for a Warp Prism to reinforce across the map, and SKillous is going to be committing. Despite this pylon, it was a fake out, and Krystianer doesn't know. Not yet. Thankfully, he opened up with a sentry. He did go double Stalker into a sentry, so he will have a hallucination. He will get eyes on this. He will figure out what's going on. But just because he figures it out doesn't mean he can defend, because he's going for a Twilight Council. Oh boy. Blink is going to be on the way eventually here for Krystianer. Meanwhile, SKillous is going to be pushing. Hallucination moves out. The Stalkers move in. Oh, that shield battery is under fire. Up. Can we bring it down? We can. That's going to be a kill on the shield battery. One of the Stalkers takes a lot of hits, but we do save it. SKillous does keep the Stalker alive. He does have a little bit more DPS available as well. He's going to be focusing down that pylon, getting some hull damage done before pulling back. Hallucination comes in. We confirm. Krystianer now knows. He now knows the all-in is coming. And we may have to just give up on the natural. Yeah, the pylon goes down. We throw down the shield battery here on the high ground. Krystianer, he gives up on the natural base. That's going to be a kill on the Nexus. 400 minerals down the drain. Now, SKillous has a choice. After he kills this base, he could expand. He could expand, or he could just double down and go for the kill. And we're doubling down. Going for another big warp in. Now we do have sentries. We can force field. Up. We can force field the ramp. Likewise, SKillous is aware. He can juggle with the prism. Keep these Stalkers alive. And he's getting a lot of damage done to that gateway. The gateway is going to be going down. Overcharge is fault, keeping these units alive, but the gateway will fall. Once again, really good juggling here out of SKillous, keeping those Stalkers alive. Essentially having his own Blink. Now, Blink is soon about to finish here for Krystianer. But he is down to one gateway. Oh my god. He can only warp in one unit at a time. He's being overwhelmed. Overcharge has run out, and SKillous, he just waddles on into the main. Takes down another gateway. Boys, they have to be pulled. And SKillous, he pulls back to the safety of the ramp. The safety of that choke point. The juggling! One Stalker finally goes down. Up! And we get another Stalker as well. Stalkers are falling, but we are trading so well. 14 probes fall. The Prism goes down as well. But SKillous, he has done so much damage, and he still has an army. Still pushing his way up the ramp into the main. 9 Stalkers against the 4 of a Krystianer. Overcharge is popped. Do force the overcharge. SKillous is pushed away. Good target firing. Oh my god. Very nicely done here. Good target firing out of Krystianer, but he is still down in workers. Has a worse economy than his opponent. SKillous remaking that prism back at home. Krystianer forcing this army back. Forcing a recall up. To do lose one of the Stalkers. At the same time, Adepts from SKillous threatening a dive into the main base. SKillous, the aggression still has not ended. But Krystianer, he does find that pylon. Pylon goes down. Krystianer has Blink. Krystianer behind this, he's on 2 gateways. And the Observer sees everything, by the way. SKillous, he sees the probe moving down to the low ground. And we're still all in. We are still very much so all in. Ooh, good target firing there as SKillous. Gets a Stalker. Ooh, gets 2 Stalkers. SKillous, he confirms the expansion. And we're doubling it. We're still all in. We're still going for it. SKillous investing 400 minerals here into this base. He has no pylon, no shield battery on the low ground. I don't know how Krystianer can defend that natural. I don't think he can. Yeah, we force a cancel. We force a cancel on the base. Krystianer, he has to back up. Gateways are on the way. 10 Stalkers to the 6 of Krystianer. Good juggling out of SKillous. Oh, we have so many Adepts. And we can shade past the army into the mineral line. Bit of miscontrol there out of SKillous. Does lose the Stalker, but he does shade in. Probe's going to be going down. The Prism does fall. Overcharge is going to be popped, but SKillous, he can just power through it anyway. Ooh, takes out another Stalker. And he has control of the economy, control of the mineral line. 9 probes go down. SKillous, he pushes back in. Have a force field. Reinforcements on the way. We get 15 probes. The target firing is just too good here. 21 workers go down. SKillous, he just cripples the economy of a Krystianer. At the same time, he breaks through these pylons, does pull back. Krystianer is down to 2 probes. 2 workers left. GG gets called, and SKillous will take down a Krystianer. Once again, getting another win on the board. GG. GG, well played. Krystianer, so greedy this game. I mean, I say so greedy. Initially, I liked his response, right? He recognized what was happening, cancelled his natural base. I say cancelled, he lost his natural base, but was trying to hold on to his one base economy. But after the initial defense, after he deflected the first attack, he tried to take another expansion. He believed he could try to get into a longer game when his opponent was still all in. It was a risky move out of Krystianer. It was a risky maneuver to try to expand and hope that SKillous was also expanding, but he wasn't. SKillous wasn't expanding, and yeah, Krystianer, he just did not have enough to defend. Was not able to keep up with the all-in of SKillous. And with that, SKillous will claim another victim. We'll get another win. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready here, because we are going over to the land of the Americas. We have to bring out the big guns here. We have to bring out the most honorable of honorables. Up next, we have a PvT, kind of. Really, it's a Protoss versus HonMonO up next. Not the most standard of players, the cheesiest Terran player in Southeast Asia. HonMonO, he's up next. Let's go. He's like the Terran MeomaikA, if you will. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. If you are maybe unfamiliar with HonMonO, especially at this hour, I'm sure we have a lot of European viewers, and maybe you don't tune in to GPO or Sparkling Tuna Cup. It's possible. If you're unfamiliar with HonMonO, he's a very aggressive Terran player. He's a Korean Terran living in Japan. Does live in the land of Japan. As a result, he does compete in a lot of oceanic events. And HonMonO, he's just a very aggressive player. He is very much so one to go all in. Typically in Terran versus Protoss matchups, HonMonO, he pulls the boys. 2-base all-ins are the standard. They are the standard for HonMonO, as well as like cheese and proxies and just hyper aggression. It's crazy. It is crazy. The most honorable Terran. He just embraces who he is, right? He embraces his inner Terran. He's like, mate, I don't need a third. I don't need to make SCVs. What do you mean? What are you on about? Oh. Okay, it's going to be HonMonO himself, and looks like we have our map of choice. And we are finally getting a bit of an older map. We're getting a slightly older map here. From the previous map pool I mentioned before, if you weren't here for it, this tournament does feature an extended map pool. We have the ladder maps, that is true, but we also have maps like 2000 Atmospheres, like Gref, as well as Ancient Sister. And here, we're going to be loading in to Gref. Here we go. It's been a while. It's been a couple of months. I believe last time we casted Gref was maybe September of last year, which was the last map pool. So it's great to be back here on a very large map, actually. I'm curious, though, because this is also not a bad map for something like a 2-base all-in. We've seen plenty of games from HonMonO here on Gref. We've seen him pull the boys more often than not on this map. We'll see what we got. We'll see what we got. Or what HonMonO's got. As predictions are open. Predictions are open in the chat. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on whether or not our Protoss can be stopped. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gref, we have our current reigning king of the hill for the entire tournament so far, with 6 wins under his belt, representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. The would-be usurper. The cheesiest Terran in all of Korea. Oh boy. Here we go. And again, HonMonO, just like MeomaikA, has a reputation. I do like it. He does have a reputation. SKillous, I'm sure, is aware of that. He's going to be checking here at the third base for a proxy to make sure that he isn't being bamboozled before going for a probe scout across the map, before getting a read on what HonMonO is up to. The question becomes, what is he going to be up to? We have seen him go for 3 Raxes in the past. We have seen him go for even factory-based all-ins. Let's see what we're feeling like. And so now SKillous, he gets across the map, going to be as annoying as possible. Going to tase away at that SCV. Do what he can here to be as annoying as possible and delay that expansion. We do see an economic opener out of a... Bappy, is he feeling okay? Economic opener here out of HonMonO. It's going to be a Rax expand. The CC is delayed. The CC is off center. And it will have to be lifted and landed on location. So it is an economic opener here out of HonMonO. But remember, what HonMonO is known for is 2 base all-ins. And you do need your natural for that to happen. So here we go. Natural base is on the way. HonMonO going to be scouting the edges of the map as well, looking for any kind of proxies. It turns out treating the tournament like a ladder session just works great for some folks. I mean, it works good for Maru. Like, I think Maru's a good example of that, where he just proxies, like, whenever he wants. Proxy Rax and Maru, and him a better duo. Aye. I mean, Hero is very similar, Dark is very similar. Like, where they throw caution to the wind and they're just hyper-aggressive. Ooh, as SKillous going for a Robo Opener. I really like this, actually. Okay. As the Adepts do run into the army, we do see HonMonO going for a very aggressive opener. Behind this, it's going to be a 3-1-1. It's going to be a 3-rack setup here. Okay, so specifically, the starport is delayed. The starport is delayed in favor of a faster second and a faster third racks. We are building up a very hefty bio army very quickly here for HonMonO, and we'll be hitting a very strong timing. Now, this can just be a 2-base all-in, or we could wait for the starport and get into medevac production and then push with the medevac timing instead. We have seen HonMonO push without the starport and without medevacs with just the boys. So a very aggressive build here from HonMonO, building up to a very hefty army. Behind this, with a robo-based opener, this is a very safe way to play here for SKillous. Now, this does mean that SKillous is going to be lacking map control. There's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Phoenixes. But with a robo opener, that gives you access to really fast Immortals and really fast Colossus. Just a very powerful way to open up in the early game here to make sure you have like what you need to defend against a 3-rack specifically. Or like aggressive play. Ooh, this is a little bit out of left field. I'm concerned for SKillous. I'm a little bit concerned. So this Robo Opener, in my mind, would have been for faster Immortals and for a faster Bay to get to Colossi. We're going Robo into Stargate. This is a little bit more peculiar. SKillous is getting across the map with that War Prism. He's going to be able to harass with these Adepts. He's going to be able to slip into the main base. At the same time, HonMonO going for a massive Hellion run by here. I say massive. 4 Hellions across the map to get into a mineral line to roast us some probes. Go Adepts, a thread in the shade. Stim is not done, by the way. Tank does arrive just in time. Do not commit to the shade. We're getting into delayed Phoenix production into the robotics bay now, finally. Now, this Colossus production is going to be a little bit later than what would have been standard if we didn't throw down the Stargate. Meanwhile, the Hellions, they just run past. They avoid the Stalkers. They dive into the main base. Probes are going down. Not just that, but we also get eyes on the Robo. It's going to be 7 dead workers. Oh, can we get 8? Not quite. At the same time, Adepts, they shade into the natural. Both players going to be losing workers. Both players taking a big blow to their economy. It's going to be 5 SCVs going down, and the Adepts survive. Meanwhile, HonMonO gets more probe damage. He kills 8 workers, but he loses his Hellions. And we're not done. The Adepts, they can be... Oh, wait, pulling the boys! As we mentioned, this is going to be an all-in without medevacs. So no medevacs to support. Every stim counts. Every stim is going to be that much more important here for HonMonO, as he does send everything across the map. Again, this is kind of like the standard HonMonO build, and SKillous, he's getting ready back at home. We have a wave of shield batteries on the way. 2 shield batteries. Colossus production still halfway done. We're not ready for this. Adepts, they do shade into the main. They do get dropped in. Workers are going down, but HonMonO, he doesn't care. Mate, workers are not meant to mine. They're meant to kill. They're meant to attack. They're meant to buffer. Tank siege up. Big volleys go off. And the Marines, they stim on 4. They shut down the wall of shield batteries. Shield battery is going to be going down. We do have an overcharge. We do not have the energy for it, though. As we're breaking in. At the same time, Adepts are being forced back. And HonMonO, he's pushing into the natural, but the Colossus arrives just in time. The unsiege. Rough moment to unsiege. Colossus swiping away at the Marines. The Marines are going down. The tank volleys are insane. We're getting a lot of damage done here to the Colossus. Oh my god, so much damage being dealt. But we clean up every single Marine. The tank as well. SKillous survives. At the same time, he's still harassing across the map. SKillous holds. Just barely. That was a brutal trade here. He almost lost the Colossus. But SKillous survives. SKillous maintains a worker lead, and he takes the third base. Across the map, he still has the War Prism, he can still harass. And HonMonO suddenly is in a really rough position. What I mentioned before. No medevacs, no starport, no drop play. There's no drop play available here. HonMonO, he's going to be building himself up for a second wave, for a second push. I imagine we're getting ready for a second 2-base all-in. Typically, what HonMonO does, if the first push fails, is that he hopes that SKillous overextends economically. He hopes that SKillous maybe is too greedy, takes a third, saturates his base, throws down like double forge into tech, and then HonMonO catches his opponent with his pants down. As we are just rebuilding that tank count and building up that Marine count as well. As we get ready for this, a big shout out, quack, Bobby, quack. A big shout out to NightPhoenix. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. And good luck, NightPhoenix. NightPhoenix is going to be playing in the Christmas Cup. He's going to be playing in the Christmas Cup in around 15 minutes. So best of luck, NightPhoenix, and thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. And welcome everyone to the OSC King of the Hill. We do see HonMonO still refuses to throw down a starport, still refuses to throw down a third TC, is still very all in. Very much so all in here from HonMonO. He's rebuilt his SCVs, I'm sure just to pull them. Oh, the Colossi, the force field, oh my god, we catch the tanks! GG gets called! The tanks get caught out, we're not able to go for the all-in, and SKillous will shut HonMonO down. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. SKillous catching HonMonO out there. Again, there was no way to juggle, there was no way to save those tanks. The force field sealed the deal. Very well done. Very well played. Very well played there. SKillous is still our King of the Hill. GG. It was a good effort from HonMonO, and honestly, HonMonO, he almost broke SKillous. Remember, with his all-in across the map, he was busting through the shield batteries, he was busting through the army. The Colossus arrived just in time. And SKillous was barely able to hold on. And with that, we have our next opponent. We have a rematch. Oh my god. Okay. I kind of want to favor our challenger here. I like it. Let's go. So we have a PvP. We have another PvP, but don't let that fool you, because this is not really a PvP. This is a Protoss versus C. A Protoss versus cannons here. It's going to be SKillous versus Gref. Oh boy. If you know, you know. Gref has a reputation similar to HonMonO, similar to how HonMonO, he's known for like 2-base all-ins. Gref is known for cannon rushes. He does one thing and one thing only, and that is cannon rush. And fun fact, this is a rematch. This is a rematch because SKillous and Gref played against each other in the Christmas Cup. I just mentioned NightPhoenix is going to be playing in the Christmas Cup in a couple of minutes. The round of 8 is tonight. But Gref and SKillous, they played, I believe, in the round of 64. They played in the round of 64 in the group stage. And Gref forced the 8. Gref almost 2-1'd. Like, he almost beat SKillous. They went all the way to the ace match. Gref has beaten SKillous with cannon rushes before. Can he do it again? Can he do it again? SKillous is aware, of course. SKillous, he is aware of the cannon rusher. He's aware of the reputation that Gref has. But the thing here is that specifically in OSC King of the Hill, you have the map advantage. Like, Gref, he picks the map that he wants to play on, the map that he knows that he is best at for cannon rushing. Let's go. Let's go. It's gonna be a short game. It's gonna be a very short game. Let me tell you, it's gonna be over before it really began. I'm ready. As we are loading on in into our 8th match of the night. Oh, predictions in the chat are open, so best of luck. I feel like Gref. What does that mean? And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have our reigning King of the Hill. Can he be stopped? Can his reign end here and now? We'll see. Or will it continue? Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, quickly just setting up his name in the UI. One moment here. It's going to be a little bit scuffed. Bam. We have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the green Protoss, representing Team Hustle. It is Gref. And it shouldn't be a surprise, Forge. Gref, he does one thing and one thing only, and that is cannon rush. We have one probe being sent across the map. We have a second probe being sent across the map as well. Forge is on the way, and the cannon rush will soon be upon us. SKillous, can we defend? He has fallen to the cannon rush before. Oh boy, the pressure is on. Boys are being pulled. We're chasing that first probe. The pylon has been thrown down already. Oh my, big reaction here out of SKillous. Does get a lot of damage dealt to that first probe. Pylons are going to get surrounded here. Another pylon behind the mineral line. This probe is so low, though. It's taken so much damage. At the same time, though, second probe is going to be coming in. As it does dip into the main base. Pylons are done, by the way. We can throw down some cannons. And it looks like we want the cannons in the mineral line behind the base. We get stuck! Oh, we get stuck for a minute. No! And the probe, it is so low. We just have to bring it down. And there we go. We bring down the probe. And just like that, we are shutting down the cannon rush. Good movement there out of SKillous. We do have a third probe coming in, but the Zealot has arrived. And I feel like we've done this. I mean, the pylon does finish. We're trying to slip in once again. Oh my god, we need some cannons, Flappy. There we go, the first cannon, the second cannon, the third cannon as well. We do wedge ourselves in between the cannons. We do manage to escape. Good movement out of Gref. Very nice movement. Okay, one cannon has been thrown down. Oh, but we lose the probe, but it's okay. We have two more probes on the way. But this is being shut down. At this point, the pylons are falling one after the other. There's one pylon left. And these probes have a lot of work to do. And at this point, I don't think they can. Stalker is on the way. Good defense here by SKillous. Again, just focusing on getting damage done here on these probes. As we do pull the boys once again. Oh, we have potential. Up! Another probe falls. Gref down to one worker, and GG gets called. The Stalker arrives, and SKillous will shut down the cannon rush. GG. A very chaotic game. And again, you know, Gref, that's what he does. Unable to pull it off here, unfortunately. I do think he did sustain a little bit too much damage with his first two probes. He took so much damage to them, so he wasn't able to really sustain himself. Wasn't able to maintain momentum with his cannons. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get any of his cannons up and running. And a really good defense there by SKillous. Again, because Gref is known for cannon rushing, SKillous, he commits hard with his probe pooling. Against any other player, like, it could be a fake out, it could be a bit of like a deception from the opponent. But because Gref is, because of his reputation, SKillous, he knows that he just has to pull like almost every single probe, making sure he shuts down those workers, shuts down those pylons, and takes it seriously. GG. GG, well played. With that, SKillous claims another victim, and where do we go next? Where do we go next? Oh, okay. Shouldn't be a surprise, but PvPs will continue here. SKillous has another opponent. He has another opponent. And it is going to be the German Protoss. The German Protoss player who has been streaming quite a lot recently. We've been giving him a couple of raids whenever we can. It is going to be ForJumy. ForJumy, Pappy. Recently teamless. He was on Little Fairy for a while, but recently was, I believe, let go. Or I believe Little Fairy did disband most of their roster. But again, ForJumy has been very active streaming, very active laddering, and is very much so in form. So we'll see. We'll see if we can bring SKillous down with another Protoss versus Protoss. Oh no, Papi. I see Gref in the chat. Less than 3, Papi. Less than 3. GG. It was a good game. It's entertaining, Papi. Entertaining. We love casting Gref. Will the cannon rush work? Will it not? We'll see. GG, Papi. GG. Well played. Oh, as we are settling into our next game, predictions in the chat are open. And best of luck here. Best of luck with those predictions as we're getting into our next best of 1. SKillous versus ForJumy. Let's go. Here we go. Spawning. Ooh. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Ancient Sister, we have our German Protoss player, the green Protoss. It is ForJumy. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner with 8 wins under his belt. Can anyone stop this man? Can anyone stop this king? Representing Team Liquid, it is SKillous. My probe just got stuck near the gases. Yeah, we saw the moment the probe got stuck as well. Ah, that was brutal. It's a brutal moment. But here we go. We have our PvP before us, and we're loading into a bit of an older map. Again, this tournament does feature an extended map pool. We have the current ladder maps, as well as maps like Ancient Cistern, Gresvan, and 2000 Atmospheres. So interesting that ForJumy chose this map. Some of the features, especially if you're a newer player, is this map is quite large. Have a lot of bases to be taken, a lot of wide open spaces here in the center of the map as well. This is ideal for a longer macro game, or arguably ideal to proxy just because there are so many proxy locations. So we'll see what direction ForJumy takes us in. I imagine he wants a longer game. Typically when we cast ForJumy, we have been casting him quite a lot recently. He is very macro focused. In PvP, he expands so quickly. Like, he is so quick to take a third and so quick to take a fourth. So and that's like where his strengths lie, like his economic strengths, I should say. So I imagine that he does want to go for a longer game here against SKillous. I imagine. We will see. As SKillous is going to be opening up double gateways, so is ForJumy. Pylons have been thrown down. It's going to be double Stalker from our green Protoss and double Stalker from our blue Protoss as well. So everything is looking quite standard. I don't expect ForJumy to spice things up too much. My eyes are on SKillous. We've seen a lot of all-ins from our blue Protoss player already. Do we see it again? Something important to bear in mind as well is SKillous is competing in the Christmas Cup, and I believe the Christmas Cup is starting soon. So that is a little bit concerning. I hope that doesn't mean that SKillous would have to forfeit after this. It's possible. I don't know if he can afford to delay some of his matches, but yeah, that's another thing to bear in mind, is that there is another event that's about to begin, and SKillous is one to take part in that. For now, here we go. It's going to be our next expansion here from ForJumy, going for a Robo Expand, a very safe way to play here from our green Protoss player. Going for that Robo first. With this, we can get of course, into faster Immortal production, into faster detection as well. The Observer's on the way. ForJumy going to be shutting down that probe. And meanwhile, across the map, SKillous likewise going to be expanding. And his tech of choice is going to be a Stargate, going for an Oracle first. So SKillous looking for a bit of economic damage, is moving out with said Oracle. Meanwhile, Hallucination is coming in for the scouts, and ForJumy will get eyes on the tech of choice. He will confirm the Stargate, and will also confirm the follow-up Twilight Council. Now, as we mentioned before, with the Robo Opener, that means fast Immortals. The Immortal was cancelled, though. We warp in a wave of Stalkers just to be ready in time for the Oracle. Good movement here from ForJumy. Does force back the Oracle. At the same time, Stalkers do threaten the Natural as well. And so far, good defense out of ForJumy. Now that he has enough Stalkers, now he gets into Immortal production. So again, just a very robust army here from ForJumy, building up early game Immortals and building up towards +1 attack as well. Now this does mean that ForJumy won't be as maneuverable, but I mentioned before that the way that ForJumy typically approaches this matchup here is to take a third base and to get into a longer game, and to just build himself up. Third base only for SKillous, he does have map control. ForJumy is going to be taking into that Twilight Council as well. Now, because Blink is going to be so delayed for ForJumy, he may go for Charge first instead of Blink. We'll see. It is an option he has. It is an option available as ForJumy is going to be pushing. Behind this is taking additional gases, going for some more gateways. ForJumy hasn't seen the third base yet. He is in the dark. He does move out. Now with this one Immortal timing with the force fields, he can maybe get some damage done. Does come across a Stalker, does pick one up. A nice catch. Very nice catch here from ForJumy. He does come across the third base. Can he force a cancel? That's the goal. The goal here for ForJumy. Cancel this third base. That's a lot of Stalkers. Javis around. Forcing the recall. The Immortal is barely going to be saved. And ForJumy throws down 2 more gateways. He does get scouted. Big revelation there for SKillous. He does confirm the gateway count. It's going to be 6 gates in total, 2 bases. Still no third, by the way. ForJumy looking like a 2-base all-in as he throws down 2 more gates. Did I say 6 gates? It's going to be 8 gateways here from ForJumy. It is a 2-base all-in. It's all or nothing. The problem is that SKillous has already seen most of this. He knows. He should have an idea, I should say. It's coming and he wants the Immortal. He goes for a dive. The overcharge is popped. We have a third Immortal coming out. This was a questionable move for SKillous. Oh my god. That Stalker's going to be going down at the same time. We have Adepts across the map. We do lose 7 probes. Oh, big stasis. Big stasis does go off. But again, we had 2 Adepts across the map. 7 workers go down. SKillous a little bit too cavalier, diving on that army. He's going to be reinforcing. But again, ForJumy has an insane Immortal count. He is pushing out as well. He catches the Stalker. Shaves off another Stalker as well, going for a big warp-in charge on the way here for SKillous. Charge already done for ForJumy. We spoke about it. ForJumy, he skipped Blink, going straight into charge instead. To maintain his composition lead. Archon on the way. The all-in is upon a stasis. Does he see? He does. Keen eyes there out of ForJumy. Does bait out the stasis trap. There is another. There is another stasis trap though. It is going to be going off here on some more of these Zealots. Overcharge is forced. We do have a second shield battery finishing up just in time, but ForJumy, he may just have too much. The Immortals, the boys are being pulled. They have to be. The Prism goes down, but ForJumy, he has far too much. He's snowballing out of control, and it looks like we have a new king. It looks like ForJumy is going to be able to finally bring down the reign here of SKillous. 11 probes go down. The third base as well. Overcharge has been spent. And this army from ForJumy snowballing out of control. Again, SKillous had a questionable dive earlier, losing so many Stalkers. And again, he just barely has anything back at him to defend. No shield battery. No backup shield battery here at the natural base. And ForJumy looking to bust in. So 2 Immortals, 3 Archons. He's waiting for reinforcements, getting a third base behind this, containing his opponent. And he is pulling the trigger. Good blinks, good control. Out of skills, throwing down a shield battery. He's holding. He's surviving. He is holding on here. Again, ForJumy doesn't want to commit without reinforcements. Like, he's waiting for the War Prism, waiting to be able to micro and juggle and maintain these Stalkers. Sorry, maintain these Immortals. And here we go. Now we can commit. Now we can push in. Again, really good blink control out of SKillous. But this should just be too much. As ForJumy has an overwhelming army breaking on through. We do have an overcharge soon to be available, but it's not going to be enough. No, we do pop the overcharge. It's just too much DPS here. GG gets called, and ForJumy will take the game and will bring SKillous down. GG. And fun fact, SKillous had 8 wins under his belt, which means ForJumy even gets a bonus. He even gets a bonus here. GG, well played. GG, ForJumy. He brings down the reign of terror of the Protoss has ended. Another Protoss reign begins. Vámonos, buddy, vámonos. Oh. GG, well played. And with that, SKillous will be knocked out of the tournament, and we have our new king. We have our new king of the hill, ForJumy. Let's go. But the question becomes, who's next? Who is next here? Who can rise to the challenge, and who can vie for that crown once again? Long live the Protoss King. Ah. I see in the chat, MeomaikA, papi. Did I tell anyone he's my long lost son? Oh, why did you lose him? What have you done, Mio? What have you done? Find him, papi, find him. Oh, guess Skills does have time for both events now. True, true. Tis true. Why is he long? Oh no. Not like this. So long, papi, so long. As we are getting ready here for our next matchup. And it is going to be another PvP. Let's go. Just give me a moment to set things up. Okay, now we featured one Polish Protoss player earlier, but now we're getting into another. Up next is going to be ForJumy versus Gerald. Let's go. And this is going to be a spicy one. I mean, honestly, even Gerald could have been the one to bring SKillous down. He's a pretty terrifying Protoss player from the European region. Gerald is terrifying, and this could go either way. This could go either way. We are just setting things up for our 10th match. And as we get ready here for our 10th match, we are kind of nearing the end. We're 2/3 of the way through. 2/3 of the way through the broadcast. This is the 10th best of 1. We have 15 in total, so 5 left after this. That's math, buddy. That's math. And as a reminder as well, once we wrap up the OSC King of the Hill, we will be casting the Christmas Cup. Christmas Cup will be up next. It is just now beginning, but we may be able to catch the tail end of the Christmas Cup, or we can get into replays. I did reach out to some of the players, and we will gain access to replays from the Christmas Cup as well. So don't fret. We will be able to get into that. Likewise, in 2 hours time, 2 hours from this message, we also have the coffee cup. It's like the coffee pot roast Dave Tester event. There's a coffee event that's happening in 2 hours time, and you know, I made the wise decision of agreeing to cast that as well. So a lot of StarCraft today. A lot of StarCraft. It's called the Cup of Glory. That's it. Cup of Glory. Which I believe is going to be an open event. Open tournament. So we will be going over that once we do wrap up with the Christmas Cup. What I will say is that if the OSC King of the Hill does go on a little bit longer, then there we go. If it does go on a little bit longer, then we may just go from OSC King of the Hill straight into the Coffee Cup, and then after that we'll do the Christmas Cup via replays. So we'll see. Oh my god, as we are going to be featuring a new map for the first time. For the first time tonight, for the first time in a long time, our map has been chosen. It is going to be Radisson Station. Here we go. Our players are asking for a small break, which is fine. We're more than willing to accept that, of course. We're here at the behest of our players. So we're going to be going on a short break here and getting ready for our PvP. Again, Radisson Station, the most vetoed map in the map pool. We very rarely get to see it. But specifically here in OSC King of the Hill, there's only one veto. Only one map gets vetoed and every other map is available to be chosen. So exciting. Exciting stuff. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. ForJumy just beat Gerald 3-2 in OSC Season 11 Championship. Let's go. Okay. So it also shows us that there's a bit of a back and forth between them. They just went to the ace match. They're pretty comparable in skill. I would agree. I would agree that Gerald and ForJumy are pretty close when it comes to their skill level. And yeah, what direction will we take us? Will this go in? Who wins the best of one? Vámonos. But again, our players are asking for a short break, so we may be a little bit here. So we're going to be going on a short break ourselves. Take this moment, get some water, get some snacks, and get ready for our later third, the end of our event here of OSC King of the Hill. We have 5 matches remaining. We'll see you soon. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our 10th. Oh god, never mind. God damn it. Never mind. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 10th match of the night. Our players are soon to be ready, as we are just setting things up with our final lobby. Unfortunately, Gerald did accidentally load in as a Terran, but of course, is going to be coming in as Protoss. There won't be an off race. There won't be a crazy PvT. It's all good. As we're loading in to Radisson Station. Again, the most vetoed map in the map pool. Hated by all, but not by Gerald, as Gerald has chosen this map as his staging ground here. Again, Radisson Station has a lot of potential to be just hyper greedy, just giga greed from our players, or even hyper aggression. We'll see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Radisson Station, we have our German Protoss player, our current King of the Hill, by the way, the SKillous Slayer, the King Slayer. It is ForJumy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming from the land of Poland. It is Gerald. there's a lot to talk about, and I rarely get to talk about it. Okay, so Rostok Station is one of the few maps that has a ramp leading into the natural, so you can go for economic openers, you can go for a gate expand here on Rostok Station. Despite that, neither player takes the bait, and we do have 2 gate openers from both Gerald and ForJumy. No one is willing to be economic here, no one is willing to take the risk. So standard openers for the time being. Again, this natural base is very defendable. Very defendable. There's a ramp leading into it. There's also a pocket base as well. So a free third and a free fourth. As this fourth base is very defendable as well. We do have some choke points leading into it, which is very difficult to actually push into and be aggressive towards. Which is why more often than not, we do see a lot of late game here on Rostok Station. A lot of late game, a lot of 4 to 5 base play. But PvP is a little bit different. PvP, you can be a little bit cheeky here. And ForJumy, he does decide to hide that pylon. Pylon is going to be hidden here towards the right-hand side. So ForJumy faking out a proxy. And Gerald, does he take the bait? Does he believe? Or does he call his bluff? Now, Probe Scout just rotating between the bases. Stalkers are on the way. It's going to be a double Adept opener here out of Gerald. On top of that, I should also mention that this map has the longest rush distance in the entire map pool. Longer than Alkione, longer than Site Delta. As the pylon was thrown down, so Gerald can get a read on what first units come out here from ForJumy. Likewise, it's going to be double Adept, as we mentioned, from Gerald, so he can be a little bit more active on the map. And he is going for the expand. Before said expansion, Gerald is going to be scouting his main base to make sure there's no proxy in the pocket base. Fair enough. ForJumy going to be expanding. He just shut down the probe. No scouting from Gerald, and Gerald should be fanning out his units to get a read on what's happening as well. Should be. No fear. 2 gate opener into an expand. Let's go. Gerald's going for the expansion. Not going for a safety robo. Not buying the fact that his opponent is going for a proxy or a cheese. And Gerald will soon confirm. With the arrival of these adepts, he should get eyes on the expansion and then realize that he's safe and sound. There we go, the adepts, they do shade in. And they even confirm the pylon. Yep, they do confirm everything here at the natural as well as the placement of that nexus. So Gerald should be feeling pretty safe. And he throws down the Twilight Council. Twilight Council's on the way. ForJumy does have faster tech. It looked like Gerald was waiting. It looked like he was waiting to scout before he either threw down the Twilight Council or the Robo. So Gerald is one step behind here when it comes to his tech overall. I don't think waiting was necessarily worth it. But he does shade in. Does shade into the main base. Going to get a couple of probe kills. 3 workers in total. Not bad. 3 workers go down. Twilight Council was scouted. Was spotted. Stalkers are also moving out. Likewise, ForJumy trying to go for his own scout as well. But he doesn't actually see much of anything. ForJumy, no idea what's going on. He's going to be pushing. Meanwhile, ForJumy, he does commit into a Forge. So with this Forge, we can go into +1 to double down on Stalker production. Meanwhile, Gerald goes for a safety robo, going for a Dark Shrine. Okay. Bold move here by Gerald, rushing into DTs. And Dark Templar could end the game if there is no detection. And ForJumy doesn't have a robo, doesn't have a Stargate. Remember, he invested into +1, invested into the Forge. Gosh, ForJumy rocking up. Going for an Adept Scout. Adept's not quite shading in, not quite committing. And there's a hallucination. Big scout here for ForJumy. He's going to dive into the main base, and he should see everything. He should get eyes on the Dark Shrine. And there it is. Dark Shrine has been spotted, has been confirmed. Good scouting out of ForJumy. And with this, immediately a Robo. Robo is in production, so we can get observers. We can get detection. ForJumy should be fine. And Gerald takes a third. So does his opponent. Again, because of this map, it is very easy to expand and take your third base without being punished. So both players getting to their 3-base economy. Bearing in mind as well that Gerald, he knows he got scouted. He knows that the Dark Shrine has him spotted. He doesn't cancel, and he can make use of it later. As the Prism is on the way. Making its way across the map. We have our Blink Stalkers as well. Going to be meeting up with it. And we'll see if Gerald can make some magic happen. He's going to be having Stalkers to threaten the natural. It will have the Prism to threaten the main. And even the third. DTs are on the way. But we already have detection. Ooh, good snipe. We do get the sentry. Ooh, for a stalker there, for 2 stalkers, ForJumy taking the better trade. He does come out on top at the same time though. DTs do waddle in. Do swipe away here at these workers. They get 2. 2 probes go down. Detection has arrived. 3 probes even. ForJumy does shut down the army though. This is going to be worth it. He's losing. Oh my, he's losing far too much. Despite having detection, we are pulling ForJumy apart here. Stalkers were distracted at the 3rd base. And 6 probes go down. Gerald does take a worker lead. So Gerald's going to be ahead in workers. Meanwhile, ForJumy going to be ahead in army. Remember, he cleaned up a lot of stalkers, but the downside here, because the rush distance by ground is so long on Radisson Station, by the time ForJumy gets across the map, Gerald should be able to defend because he's getting into Immortals. Even if he's down in stalkers, he has Immortals, has high ground, shield battery, overcharge. Pushing up this ramp is so difficult. ForJumy's gonna try. He's gonna be moving out across the map. Army has it spotted by the observer. Gerald's in position. ForJumy taking a 4th base behind this. Yeah, this is probably the wise move here from ForJumy. He's not pushing up the ramp. He is containing his opponent. Oh, as I say that, he ties it up with the... Oh my god, he goes for the Immortal. We'll bring it down. Oh my god, he's crazy. Does focus down the Immortal. Gets 1, gets 2 Stalkers. Almost gets a 3rd. Will be forced back. That was an expensive trade for ForJumy. He lost 5 Stalkers for 1 Immortal and 1 Stalker. Not the best trade for ForJumy, but he resets the Immortal count and he still contains his opponent. That's what matters. ForJumy getting to his 4th. Robotics Bay on the way for both players, for both Gerald and ForJumy. Disruptors on the way. Unlike our previous PvPs, it would just be one player with their balls out and the other nuts. The Disruptors for both players. Let's go. Let us go. As the rocks are being knocked down. Oh, we can dive into the natural. Sorry, dive into the 3rd. Gerald out of position. Going to be rotating over. Rotating over towards that pocket base. At the same time, Prism into the main. Zelts get dropped in. And they're going for the pylon. Pylon are going to be focused down. We will get it. Disruptors have been scouted. So good pickoff and also good scouting out of Jumy. Meanwhile, Disruptor production is going to be continuing. We do have our 2nd Forge for double upgrades. +3 about to kick in as well. Jumy up an entire upgrade. Now, pushing up a ramp into Disruptors is still not something we want to be seeing. So for ForJumy, his goal here, his win condition is to contain. Once Gerald tries to expand, then ForJumy can punish the expansion and try to punish the army for being out in the open. Speaking of, here comes Gerald. Does shut this down. ForJumy getting in position. Still up in upgrades. Oh, ForJumy going for the gold. Oh my god. I mean, he has map control. Me as well. Rotates around. He's going for the base. Going for the army. And here we go. We blink on forward. We get one of the Disruptors and we're going for the other as well. Both Disruptors go down. And the Immortal big pickoffs. Gerald caught with his pants down. Nova goes up. But ForJumy, he avoids the Nova. Resets the Robo Army. Goes for a big warp. And that's a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. ForJumy's getting out of hand. Good target firing. Nova goes up. decent connection, and ForJumy, he's running out of steam. But he picks up another disruptor. Almost another. But ForJumy has to retreat. He's running out of stalkers. He will pull back. But again, ForJumy was able to hit with +3. Did have a massive upgrade lead. +2 just now about to finish up here for Gerald. And look at the armies. Gerald, he does have a massive stalker lead. And ForJumy, I don't think he can hold on to this base. Yeah, Gerald, he does get eyes on the gold. Will cancel it. Should cancel it. ForJumy having a hard time trading. Where are the disruptors, by the way? I know we have them. Rizella warping across the map. ForJumy does hold again. He does have +3. Zealot's going to be clashing. There we go. The disruptors, they have joined the main army for ForJumy. And the game is going to settle for a moment. Now, something that's crazy, something that shouldn't have happened, this gold. This gold is still up and running for ForJumy. He still has it. Gerald wasn't able to deny it. And that means ForJumy has a massive economic lead. I mean, he's already on 4 bases, and now he's taking a 5th. He's up a base plus a gold. Meanwhile, we have a SkyToss transition. Gerald's getting ready for, eventually, carrier production. He's working on it. Disruptors are amassing. Gerald is going to try and defend on 4 bases. His goal here is to just turtle up, fortify himself on 4 bases, and get into SkyToss. Very similar to a Nightmare's army composition at the start of the night. Very similar, but ForJumy has momentum. He's up in armor supply, up in economy. Is down when it comes to those disruptors. But he's going to be going in. He does have the observer. Eyes on the army. Tagging those stalkers towards the right-hand side. Here's some dipping into the main. Being a bit of a nuisance here, but it looks like ForJumy, he won't be able to get on through. The disruptors are exposed! We go for the dive! We do dive on top of the army. Big Nova's going to be connecting here with the stalkers, but we lose every single disruptor. This was worth it for ForJumy. He took a Big Nova to the face, but he resets the disruptor count. Ay. Likewise, Gerald's good at target firing as well. It does take down the disruptors. But ForJumy, he's up in upgrades. He's got +3. He's got +1 shields and +1 armor as well. He's got 3-1-1. His stalkers are just superior. We dive on the disruptor. We get on top of the Void Ray as well. And ForJumy, he has too much. He has broken the back of Gerald. There's almost nothing remaining. Disruptors, they're filing on in. A big Nova goes off. Oh my god, that was a massive Nova. Gerald, he's holding. He's holding, but sometimes one Nova is all it takes. ForJumy, no reinforcements. We do have the War Prism on the way to reinforce across the map. That's why ForJumy, he ran out of steam. He's got the gold. He's got another base on the way. He's getting a 6th. He's up 2 bases. Calm down. ForJumy going for another push. Again, his upgrades are insane. Novas go up. Big Nova connects. Up. Can we focus down the disruptors? We barely can. Just in time. One more Nova will crash here into the army, but ForJumy, he has too much. He's pushing his way in. Overcharge is popped. The shield battery will be focused down. And with this wave of reinforcements, with these Zealots, it looks like ForJumy, he has finally too much. We have some DTs. We have some Dark Templar. It's causing this to be a little bit awkward, but yeah, we have detection as well. Another wave of Dark Templar come in, but the Observer stands strong. Boys are being pulled. But again, Gerald, his defenses have been broken. He's got a handful of soldiers remaining. He's got 1 disruptor here in the back line. Tries to dive on top of that prism, but he gets zoned away. And this base is falling. Again, ForJumy in full control of this. Even makes a 2nd prism. I think he expected the first one to die. I think he expected it to die, so he's got 2. You know, double the warp-ins. Terbium. Blinks on forward as well. Shuts down the army. Shuts down the Zealots. Overcharge is popped. But we can see ForJumy just warping in straight to the main base on top of the army. On top of the production. The cancelled warp-ins. Oh my god. GG gets called, and ForJumy will take the series 1-0. We'll take down Gerald, and he is still our king of the hill. GG. GG, well played. ForJumy will hold on to his crown. Takes down SKillous, takes down Gerald in a very unique game. You know, I appreciate that we got into Radisson Station again, just hyper greed, a lot of expansions, a lot of economy in favor of ForJumy, and just unable to allow, just did not allow Gerald to expand and really take his fourth base freely. Was able to gain a little momentum early on. Very aggressive style as well out of ForJumy. Like, sure, he had a lot of economy behind it, but the way that he maneuvered with his stalkers, he was so keen to dive on top of immortals and disruptors, and it was crazy. It was impressive. GG. With that, one moment as we get ready for our next matchup. Un momento. As we have our next opponent, we have our next player, we have our next challenger. Here we go. It is not going to be a PvP, not again. It is going to be a different matchup entirely. It's going to be a Protoss versus Terran. So I was just closing the door. It was getting very cold. Just closing the door. Up next, we have ForJumy versus BabyMarine. Let's go. I just need to double check. Is he still on Team Brody? I know that he just left Platinum Heroes and okay, is teamless. Is teamless. Here we go. Is teamless, and our map has been chosen. We are diving on in. Here we go. We are loading on in here. Again, our PvT is upon us. We've mainly been having Protoss versus Protosses. We've had one Zerg tonight, a single Zerg, hoping that we can get maybe a couple more later on. As predictions in the chat are open, you can place your bets on how you think this series will unfold. And who you think comes out on top. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have our challenger. We have our Italian Terran player, the Red Terran, currently teamless. It is BabyMarine. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player, the current King of the Hill. Also teamless, also looking for a team. Both players are both deserving to be on one. It is ForJumy. Here we go. We are diving on into this here. Again, my eyes are mainly on BabyMarine to see what he brings to the table and how he's able to usurp his opponents. What are we about? What are we about? What do we bring to the table here? Again, BabyMarine, unlike CuKu, I think is a little bit more macro-oriented. I know that they are comparable in skill and they're both, you know, up-and-comers in the European scene. But often than not, I do see BabyMarine going for some longer games instead. We'll see if that's going to be the case, or we'll see if we whip out some aggression. We are loading into hard lead. That's a little bit telling. Hard lead is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground. So something like two-base play can be quite effective on a map like this. Can be quite effective here. Sorry, CB is moving out across the map. CC thrown down behind this. It is an economic opener. It is a Rax Expand single gas opener here from BabyMarine. Love to see it. Now, just because the opener is economic doesn't mean it's not a two-way solo. I'm bringing it back to HonMonO earlier. HonMonO, he was terrifying. Despite going for a rack expand, just pulled the boys and just sent it across the map. Let's see what our plan is. Behind this, we have our factory on the way, so it's not going to be a 3-racks. When BabyMarine does manage to throw down that bunker here on the low ground, ForJumy has eyes on this, but won't be able to slow it down. Reaper does arrive, and just like that, BabyMarine, he has control of the natural. Now, the power of this bunker, as boys are being pulled, oh my god. As boys are being pulled, the power of this bunker is to deny any kind of mining here on the low ground. Adept has arrived, and we can barely slow this down. The bunker is denied. 1 probe falls, but well worth it to make sure the bunker does not get up and running. Ooh. And we shut down the Reaper. Very nice control here. Very nice movement out of ForJumy. And with that, this bunker is going to be cancelled. So a very clean defense here. ForJumy may have lost 1 probe, but it was well worth it here to shut down the bunker, to shut down that Reaper. And did we even scout? We did, thankfully. We did get eyes on the Stargate opener of ForJumy. Going to be Phoenix-based play here into, I imagine, Colossus. Well, we'll see. Back at home, BabyMarine getting into a 1-1-1, getting into... What am I dropping? A bold move. A bold move here, considering he saw the Stargate, considering he's aware of the tech of choice. We'll see if he can get past those Phoenixes and drop into a mineral line. Go. Phoenix is just going to be rallied here back at home. Just going to be banking up. Likewise, ForJumy is also lacking a bit of scouting information himself. We do have a 2-1-1, soon to be a 3-1-1 setup here from BabyMarine. And it looks like ForJumy is just opening up standard. Like, it's going to be Phoenixes into a Robo, into a Bay, into Colossus, into a 3rd base. So very safe play here from our Protoss. Nothing out of the ordinary. The downside here is that these Phoenixes aren't really being too active, so we really are lacking a lot of scout information. We have no idea what's happening. We can see that it's like nothing too out of the norm. It's pretty standard setup out of BabyMarine. There's that 3rd Rax on the way. Going for our add-on swap, going for a tank production. Meanwhile, here comes that mine drop. 3 Widow Mines. My god. It's quite a lot. 3 Widow Mines slipping into the natural base. We go for the boost. But ForJumy's in position. We'll shut this down. Picks up 1, 2, or 3 Widow Mines, and we will not get a single shot off. ForJumy shuts this down hard. Every single Widow Mine, every single medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. A good cleanup here from ForJumy. And at least we were able to scout. At least BabyMarine, he saw the 3rd base, and he also saw the bay on the way. So he's aware of the composition, but just because he's aware doesn't mean he can do much about it. ForJumy gaining map control. He does get eyes on the Marines. Dips in between the bases, gets eyes on the tech, on the production. Good scout here from Jumy. So he's aware of like the bio-oriented production here, and oh, we actually aren't getting into tanks. My apologies. I assumed that we were getting into an add-on swap for tank production, but no, that is not the case. The Widow Mines instead. Okay, so it's going to be Biomine out of BabyMarine. There's a lot of potential with it. Definitely. I believe did research Interference Matrix. Yep. Disable has been researched for BabyMarine. Is going to be ready for those disables to deal with the Colossus. Speaking of, Raven is out. Raven is hidden as well. That's the other thing that, oh god, as we come across some of these Widow Mines. We will not get them down though. Scan and trying to reveal that observer, but good positioning out of ForJumy. The observer will survive the scan. As ForJumy does bleed out 1 Phoenix. Pretty rough loss there. Observer dipping in. Colossus production well underway. 3rd base getting up and running here. ForJumy has map control. And the question becomes, BabyMarine, do we throw down a 3rd CC? Or do we send? we should be seeing a third base. Stim is done, and Combat Shield's about to finish up as well. Getting to medevac production. You can see ForJumy dipping in once again and getting an eye on all these Widow Mines. Oh, he's not looking! ForJumy, bit of a lapse of attention there. One more Phoenix gets picked up, and we are pushing across the map. Third CC is on the way behind us, so we are not all in. But we are still committed. And again, with this Raven, we have a lot of potential. It's still alive. ForJumy, he wants the Raven, though. Up! He goes for the dive. He picks it off. Big pick off there. We may have lost a Phoenix, but that was worth it. Well worth it, ForJumy. Gets the Raven. No more disables. The Colossi will stand strong. At the same time, though, BabyMarine going for a drop. Diving into the main. Colossi rotate over towards the third. Phoenix has responded to the drop. We do manage to bring down that pylon. Oh, but the medevac will fall as well. Big pickups here. As we clean everything up. A full medevac drop for not even a Phoenix. At the same time, very nice control there out of ForJumy. Good hold position micro as well. The Widowmine up. Oh my god. Widowmine not quite going to be going up. Again, behind this, BabyMarine, he's just trying to macro up and get into a third base, but his aggression wasn't ideal. He bled out a lot of units, lost the Raven, lost the full medevac. BabyMarine is in a bit of trouble here. He's going for more drop play. He's hoping he can deal some more damage. Meanwhile, ForJumy getting ready for his Zealot counterattack at the same time. Okay, so we have a mine drop into the right-hand side, into the main. The main army pushing towards the third. Mine drop actually going for the natural. Do we have a reaction? No reaction! He doesn't see! Last second split there, but 11 probes go down. Finally, damage has been done. Medevac's going to be responding, Phoenix is going to be responding, shutting down this medevac. And here comes the main army, the main push towards the third. That's a lot of Widow Mines. Massive mine shot going to be going off. We do manage to catch a lot of that bio though. Same time, here comes that Zealot run by. Ooh, 8 SCVs go down. A handful of Marines as well. Prism slips into the main base. Both players have been hurting economically. The mine shot save resets 7 more probes. We will eventually clean this up. BabyMarine going to be retreating. More mine shots going to be going off as well. ForJumy, he's getting ready for a warp in. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, he's going to be skirting around the edge of the map. He does come across an adept. ForJumy sees. He's keeping up with the army. BabyMarine going to be pulling back. Meanwhile, the Widowmines, they waddle in. They waddle in. Can we lift? We can lift one. The other shot will go off. There we go. Zealot warping into the main base, but we have Vikings to deal with that Prism. The army races back home. As the dust does settle, BabyMarine comes out ahead. He's ahead in the economy. He has a higher worker count. He has mules on top of that. So, the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be here for BabyMarine as he can build up his army. ForJumy has been having a really hard time here against these Widow Mines. They've been getting a lot of shots off, and there is still no 4th base. We need the 4th desperately. Scan reveals the Observer. ForJumy going to take the center 4th instead. A little bit more exposed, but there's a Widow Mine blocking the triangular third. Pushing through the center, getting his 4th base on location. Oh my god, that's far ahead. That's how far ahead he is. Does force a cancel, thankfully, but and BabyMarine, he is keeping up with ForJumy. They do warp in a Dark Templar. There is a turret. Is a turret in position. We're going straight forward though. We should be able to repair. We should be able to. Never mind. But ghosts have arrived. We're able to EMP. The DT's not getting much done, and this army is looking terrifying. We have a massive amount of Vikings, Ghosts, Marauders, +1 ship weapons on the way, soon to be Liberator production as well. BabyMarine looking terrifying. He scans the army, does confirm the disruptor production. We have a second robot on the way. So likewise, ForJumy, he has hit critical mass of Colossus. He has 3 Colossi, then into disruptors. And this next fight is going to come down to the Novas, to be honest. We have how many? 3 disruptors, soon to be 5. So a lot of disruptors are available. Depending on how good the Novas are, will either make or break a fight for ForJumy. Darts will be clashing. They catch some of the army, even some of the medevacs. Oh my god. Decent pickoff, but this army takes a lot of damage. Very battered, very bruised. And BabyMarine, he's getting his 4th. ForJumy is still behind in the economy here. And there it is. The Fusion Core. Fusion Core is on the way, 2nd starport. This is for Liberator production. And once Liberators hit the field, ForJumy is going to have to transition. Yeah, this could be going up. The Phoenixes, they're going to be going down. Rough loss there for ForJumy. Doubling down on more of these disruptors. Like, he is so ground-oriented right now, and that's where Liberators can really shine against an army like this. I mean, there are a lot of Blink Stalkers. They will help against the Libs, but it's still going to be rough trades. Here we go. ForJumy diving on top of the army, gets 2 Ghosts. EMP does connect. Nova's going to be going up. Ooh, but good target firing as every single disruptor goes down. But we dive on top of the army. There are too many Stalkers. Colossi going to be falling, but the Stalkers, they take care of the Marines and the Marauders. Who needs Colossi? Who needs disruptors when you have Stalkers back? ForJumy barely breaks through. But we need to keep on pushing. From here, we're going to be backing up. We're rebuilding those disruptors, making 3 at a time. Reinforcing as hard as we can. ForJumy does have a supply lead, and we have mainly Vikings to defend. ForJumy, he can pull this off. We can push in. Get no Liberators, no Ghosts, no EMPs. Nova's going to be connecting. Shaving off some of the army. 1 Nova left in the chamber. Up! Gets a Widowmine. From here, ForJumy just trading with the army is going to be bleeding out a couple of gateway units. We're diving on top of the disruptors. We get 1, we get 2. And the Observer as well. A good dive there from BabyMarine. As he's distracted, though, we do have a big Zealot counterattack. Sorry, DT counterattack. But we have detection and a planetary. But our Templar, they do nothing. They get 4 SCVs. And now, BabyMarine, he's aware. He's aware to be ready here for those Dark Templar. And we're making 3 Liberators at a time. +2 ship weapons finishing up. And again, with the arrival of these Libs, we can still make Mass Blink Stalker work, but it's still so risky. Good EMP. Good EMP on the army. Vikings are ready for a dive. Dark Templar are still amassing. Now, bearing in mind, if we get enough Dark Templar, it doesn't matter if you have a planetary. We can still swipe it down. But this is not enough DTs to actually make that happen. We're going to be pushing in. We get a Lib. We get a Liberator. At the same time, we dive on top of this planetary, but the repairs, are they good enough? Up! It's close! It's so close to the planetary Lives. Oh, that was like 7 Dark Templar going down for nothing. ForJumy cannot break forward. You can see him plummet in supply. BabyMarine, he's holding on. ForJumy still doubling down here on the Gateway Army, but that Liberator count, it's getting higher and higher as time goes on. This is not going to get easier. Decent Novas. Oh! On mainly Marauders. But Liberation Freedom has arrived. There's too much freedom as we force back the Protoss army. Once again, Prism slips into the natural base, but BabyMarine, he has eyes on it. He will respond. Does race his way into that main base. Zealots do warp in. At the same time, he gets pulled out of position. Can we focus down the base? Oh, not quite. Again, Liberators, they just force back the army. Big shots go off. And a lot of Stalkers went down. And you can see BabyMarine getting ahead in army supply. Like, he's taking a lead. ForJumy, he's been trying to brute force his way through, but this, again, like, the army quality of BabyMarine is just getting higher and higher, and we're leaving ForJumy in the dust. He's falling behind. Novas go off. Once again, the target firing. Couple of Novas over. They will connect. Big Novas go off as well. Good connections. ForJumy is fighting back. Results coming in. We get a couple of SCVs. BabyMarine caught out of position. We're still in this. We are still in this here as BabyMarine. He is once again zoned away from his own Nexus. His own planetary even. It was not ideal though. BabyMarine, he does take control of the high ground once again. Colossus production has commenced. Still not in love with this though. And yeah, this is all about positional play. If we can catch out the Liberators, or if we can engage without Liberators. ForJumy can take a fight. He rotates around. Picks up a lib. Gets another Liberator as well. Shading very nicely. Raise the army once again. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, he's getting another base up and running. So is ForJumy. Both players on a pretty good economy overall. They can sustain themselves. BabyMarine has a bit of a larger map, larger bank gas-wise. Not minerals though. So here we go. We do zone away the army. We're going straight for the planetary. Zealots are doing what they can, but the repair may just be too good. As we focus down the SCVs first, the 12 workers go down. BabyMarine, he's still stuck dealing with the army. And he goes for the dive, a massive stim. We focus down as many disruptors as we can. Novas will go off, but only one. BabyMarine, he may have lost the base, he may have lost 22 SCVs, but he brings down the army. Resets the Colossi, resets the Disruptors. We're coming in for a surround though. We're coming in. Decent surround. A lot of this army is going down. The Zealots of the MVPs. They clean up the Marines and the Ghosts. This is very scrappy. This is... Oh god. ForJumy, he lost all of his high-tech units. Likewise, BabyMarine lost a big chunk of his army, and he lost the base as well. Here we go, the main. The main is being lifted and floating over towards the right-hand side. Another base being taken towards the left. We're still hyper-fixated here on Disruptors. Disruptors and Stalkers. Here we go. We do see ForJumy catching BabyMarine out of position. Does take down one of those libs, but the Disruptors, no! 1, 2, 3 Disruptors go down. Every single Disruptor gets caught out here. BabyMarine catching ForJumy off guard. His pants were down. He will kill a mineral line, that is true. But BabyMarine, we can commit. We can commit to a base trade. We can send it at this point. Both the fringe bases going to be going down. And BabyMarine, does he turn back around? Does he race back home? for another Nexus. ForJumy can always recall. Now we have an army back at home. BabyMarine, he will defend. Hold on to the planetary though. ForJumy going for a drop into the main. The main base looking very exposed. Meanwhile, the planetary does get surrounded. ForJumy recalls, but I don't think he can fight this. I don't think he can take a fight here to his opponent. Yeah, massive liberation zones. There's just too much freedom. The Zealots are going down. ForJumy getting ready for a surround, though. He does have a pretty hefty army. And here we go. He goes for the dive. Nervous will not be connecting. It looks like we should barely clean this up. We force the lift. We clean up the Medivacs. 2 Medivacs go down, but BabyMarine, he has been not stopping with this production. Pushing on 40. Took down 2 bases, and he's going for a 3rd. Next is going to be falling. ForJumy trying to keep up. Trying to deal with this, but again, the army just trading so efficiently. Trying to get another base up and running instead. And BabyMarine, I think he has barely done it here. It's been very close between these 2 players. Been very back and forth. ForJumy still has the base fully operational. Basically a 1 base economy here for ForJumy as he is running out of minerals everywhere else. Against the half bases of BabyMarine. ForJumy has mining though, that's what's important. BabyMarine, not so much. He's down to a handful of mineral patches remaining here. But we commit to a counterattack. This is huge. The probes, the boys, they're going to be falling here. We shut down the last mining base of ForJumy. He's trying to take this triangular 3rd base, so heavily oversaturated. This is all he has left here to sustain himself. It's going to be shut down. ForJumy, he does hold on to this, not quite. He's trying to retake that base. BabyMarine keeping the pressure up. Up its supply. Maybe with some good Novas, ForJumy can take a fight, but that's the only way he can take a fight here. With those disruptors. Liberators rocking up. We have plenty of EMPs available as well. Just zoning back the army, and ForJumy, he knows he cannot defend. He has to give up the base. And we have no mining. We are long distance mining here at this point. As best we can. Probes scattered all around the place here. All around the map. Bit of a counterattack. It's going to find some damage. BabyMarine, he's rotating around. He's looking for the expansion. He does find some probes. Oh, at the same time, ForJumy going for a big counterattack. Uh-oh. This is all of his army, by the way. This is... I like this move out of ForJumy, though. He forced BabyMarine to turn back around, which means ForJumy, he gets bottom left. Bottom left gets back up and running. ForJumy gets top right though. ForJumy just trying to buy some breathing room here, but again, BabyMarine, he's maxing out. He's about to hit critical mass of 200 supply. Nervous, not the connections we need. And here we go, BabyMarine, look at the snowball out of control, finally breaking through, getting on top of the army. The liberation has arrived, the freedom. It's too much as ForJumy gets forced further and further back into his natural. Get on top of the Nexus, forcing a recall to the other side. I don't know how well this is going to work out yet. The Colossi is so exposed. Good target firing here out of BabyMarine. GG gets called, and BabyMarine is our Kingslayer, is our usurper, brings down ForJumy, and he's our new King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. BabyMarine does it. He brings down ForJumy. The reign of Protoss has ended. We've had nothing but Protoss champions tonight. Not anymore. Not anymore, as ForJumy has been brought low, and we have our first Terran King of the evening. GG. GG, well played. BabyMarine will stay on. ForJumy is knocked out. And we are getting ready for our next matchup, for our next best of one. The king is dead. All hail the new king. BabyMarine. BabyMarine. GG. GG, well played. As he has an opponent. He has an opponent ready and waiting. Shouldn't be surprised. It is going to be another Protoss player. It is going to be the Polish Protoss, Art. Let's go. Let us go. Oh. The vetoes are done, and our lobby has been made. We are going to be loading into Site Delta. Oh, for the first time tonight. For the first time tonight, here we go. Amongst the ashes of a Protoss player, through the Kala, another Protoss rises to take his place. We've had a Protoss in every single matchup so far, and that trend continues. Here we go. Art is up next. Here we go. And I'm sure Art was watching. I'm sure he was lying in wait. Oh. No! I made a mistake. I clicked away. Okay, we're good. Whew. We are good. As predictions in the chat are open. As we are getting to our 12th best of one. We only have a handful left here in this tournament. Almost at the end, and spawning in the top left hand corner of Site Delta, we have our new challenger. We have our pink Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the current King of the Hill with one win under his belt. Representing himself, it is the Red Terran from Italy. It is BabyMarine. And our first Terran King of the night. May his reign last long. We'll see. Oh, as BabyMarine going to be moving out here with a cheeky SCV. Papi. Okay, he is going for an eBay block. He avoids the main scouting path, dips into the natural base, and an eBay is going to be thrown down. This is a very common opener here in the current meta, looking to force the unnatural natural out of Art. Art, thankfully, is going to be checking the low ground here. Oh, but we already have quite a lot of progression on this eBay. Oh, and yeah, he will be forced to expand elsewhere. This is a brutal position here for the pink Protoss player. He's forced to take the unnatural natural instead. So a good start for BabyMarine. Behind this, we should be seeing a faster factory. Factory should be on the way. Expansion has been thrown down. And Art is going to have a difficult time defending. Protecting his main base and his natural is going to be very awkward for Art. So we'll see how he does deal with this. Behind this, there's that factory on the way. So usually this leads into Hellion or Cyclone production, both designed to pull apart the Protoss player. Hellions, their goal is to dive into a mineral line. Dive into the main or the natural, pick your poison. Likewise, Cyclones can snowball out of control and focus down what little ground units there are left here in between the bases. So the pressure is on Art, and we'll see what kind of pressure comes out from BabyMarine. Reactor is on the way. We should be getting into an add-on swap. There we go. Add-on swap with the factory. And we'll have our units of choice. This is also why in the meta, it is very common for Protoss players to very quickly check their natural ahead of time, just to make sure that there is no eBay block, and there it is. Hellions are on the way. Now, it is very common to go into a starport or a Stargate as a reaction here. The reason for this is because Oracles and Phoenixes don't care about your sim city, or they don't care about how awkward these bases are because of the rush distance by air is shorter. So it's a little bit easier to maneuver between your main and your natural, and dip in between your bases to defend. There it is, oracles are on the way. That will help. Behind this, BabyMarine going for a delayed expansion. It is going to be a delayed CC. Art was able to confirm the factory and the add-ons as well, so he's aware of the 4 Hellions. 4 Hellions are going to be moving out across the map. As we mentioned, their goal here is to kill probes. Is to roast up a mineral line. It takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a worker, by the way, so if they line up, oh boy, damage will be dealt. As we do slip into the mineral line, we do get a couple probes. They line up, no! They line up, 7 probes go down, 8 workers go down, 1 volley is all it took, and this has more than paid for itself. A rough reaction there out of Art. 8 workers falling, and just like that, BabyMarine takes an economic lead. Behind this, we're getting into Cyclones, we're getting into Vikings, preparing for the Oracle defense. The Oracle did reveal itself. Hellions are being shut down, but Art needs to get some counter damage done here. As the Oracle, we're being cheeky. Good start stepping, good whole damage down on the Oracle as it barely does survive. And there's a shade in, Vikings do land as well. We are more than prepared. From here, the pressure is on. Now, at least Art keeps the Oracle alive. It's going to be able to regenerate its shields. We have a second Oracle hitting the field as well, so we can one-shot SCVs. We can do some counter damage with this. As I say that, yeah, we're going for stasis traps instead. It's a wise choice. Behind this, we're getting into Immortal production, soon to be Colossus. Oracles are making their way into the main. Speaking of, there is a Viking in position. Good positioning here from BabyMarine. Does zone away Art. There's that Bay on the way for Colossi, as we were mentioning. And BabyMarine is going to be able to comfortably get into his 2-base economy. Very comfortable here. Tank count is getting up and running. The Oracles will threaten this main. Art's going to be rushing into his 3rd, as he is going to be looking to recover here. Now the question becomes, do we expand? Does BabyMarine take his own 3rd CC, or does he commit on 2 bases? He should be aware that he's already dealt a lot of economic damage and that his opponent is struggling to keep up with him. So a 2-base all-in wouldn't be a bad idea from this point. Oh, the Oracle does get brought low. Does go down. We have 1 Oracle left here for Art. Viking's going to be zoning Art away. Behind this, we're going to be hitting a strong timing with Stim, Combat Shields, and +1. All the upgrades are lined up here for BabyMarine. Again, the question becomes, do we take an expansion? Back at home, Archie's just building up his Colossus count. He's already got 1. He should have 2 Colossi by the time the army moves out. He has shield batteries, overcharge, a couple of force fields. Now, thankfully for Art as well, there is no Raven. There's no disables available. As here we go, we are pushing. The move out is being spotted by the Observer, so Art, he knows. He's getting ready. Stasis Trap going to be baited out. Good positioning once again with the Viking, getting a lot of damage done to that Oracle. Ooh, almost gets it. We can see Art being proactive. Observer is going to be shut down as we go for some drop play. And there is a 3rd CC, so we're not all in. Like BabyMarine, he's working on that next step, working on that expansion. Lose a Viking. Not much at home to defend, though. Uh-oh. Not much at home as we go for the double jump into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. We force a recall. Oh, the Colossus is recalled. We should be able to defend. We go straight for the Colossus. We will not get it, though, as Art does hold, but he loses 9 probes in the process. At the same time, BabyMarine, we're going to push in. one Colossus lying in wait. And the rest of Art's army is going to be rotating over. Oh god. Colossus taking a lot of damage. Third Colossus does arrive just in time, and Art, he should be able to hold on to his base. Hold on to his third, I should say. As the drop, it does threaten to dive in once again. Reinforcements are on the way. BabyMarine, he's doubling down here on this position. The tank goes down. Big loss there for BabyMarine. Gonna be threatening a dive. He does catch another one of those tanks. Oh, just barely doesn't. Clutch pick up there, but yeah, Art, he has momentum on his side. He has 3 Colossi. He can chase this down. The sentry. He gets on top of these Widow Mines. The pickups there from Art. BabyMarine gonna have to back off. Behind this is getting his store base up and running. Templar Archives on the way. Blink, soon to be Storm, soon to be Archons. Both players will kind of bounce off each other here. As the dust does settle, I still want to give the edge to BabyMarine. I still want to say he has map control, he can go for drop play. He still has a solid economy. Scans does confirm the location of the 4th. I mean, he sees that it isn't here towards the south. So he's going for his drop towards the north. He's going for the would-be 4th base here of Art. Let's get eyes on it. They're in position, going to be able to force back some of these Marauders. Expensive losses there for BabyMarine. We're losing 1. Meanwhile, Mind Drop here into the natural. We do pull away. Oh! Good connections. 5 probes go down. BabyMarine, he dips into the main base as well. That Widow Mine soon to reset. We get eyes on the army. BabyMarine in the midst of taking a 4th base. Does come across the War Prism. Again, BabyMarine, he's looking comfortable here. What I will say, though, is that even though Art has been a little bit on the back foot and has been struggling to maintain himself, is that we have Disruptors. Second Robo just now starts. That is a late 2nd Robo. But we're getting into Disruptor production. So even if Art is down in army supply, 1 or 2 good Novas can swing a fight in his favor. Good. Here we go. BabyMarine going to be pushing. He was just spotted by that spotter at depth. Position. Behind us we have a 4CC on location, still working its way in. Ooh, a rough split there out of BabyMarine, doesn't expose his army. Expose a lot of those Marauders. Art diving on 40, has 1 more Nova behind this. And forcing this all the way back, and BabyMarine, he has to defend here. Good EMP. Solid EMP there on those Archons. He does hold on to his would-be 4th. As Art is taking his 5th. Again, we're making 2 of those disruptors at a time. We have the Fusion Core on the way, so once again, we are entering the mid to late game. With that Fusion Core, we can get into Liberator production, into Liberator range. And we saw that ForJumy was a little bit stubborn when it came to transitioning out of his Ground Toss army, was trying to force the Blink Stalker Disruptor to work against Mass Lib. We'll see if Art is one to do the same. Or if he does try to get into Sky Toss. We shall see. Art's going to be pulling back. Pulling back to the safety of his would-be 5th. With a Dark Shrine on the way for some DT harass. Storm is still on the horizon. BabyMarine, he has maxed out. Oh. Does avoid the Novas. One Nova left. Once again, just zones away the army. The Vikings are going in. They take down the Prism. The Prism goes down. The Colossi as well. We have some decent Novas. And they do chip away at the army. But it looks like we have too much. We stim on forward. The Disruptors are not good enough. The Vikings land. And we have broken the main army here of Arts. We lift the Vikings. We avoid the shots. Good control out of BabyMarine as he breaks through. Doesn't even need his Liberators. GG gets called, and BabyMarine will take down another Protoss. Will maintain his throne, and is our king of the hill. GG. GG, well played. Again, a solid TVP out of BabyMarine. Did have a very strong start, was able to take an economic lead and hold on to it and maintain it. And that's honestly really crucial here in this matchup. In Terran versus Protoss. For the Terran player to be ahead economically is just a very difficult thing for the Protoss to overcome. Just because the Protoss is usually up in bases and up in workers. Usually, but not this time. Not this time as BabyMarine takes down another Protoss player. And who's next? That's the question. Who is next? Who comes out next here? Who can face down BabyMarine? We only have a couple of matches remaining. Only a couple more best of ones. So we quickly do just double check. Three more series, 3 more chances to bring BabyMarine down. Who's it going to be? Who haven't we seen? I do know that NightPhoenix, for example, is otherwise preoccupied with the Christmas Cup. But we have our answer. We've only had one Zerg player tonight. Only one. And he's not even really a Zerg. it was MeomaikA. Now we have another. Now we have a European Zerg player that is going to be coming out of the woodwork. Let us go. I am ready for it. Up next, we're taking a break from the Protoss players. Fun fact. This is going to be our first matchup that doesn't feature a Protoss. It's going to be a TVZ between BabyMarine and Trifax. Let's go. Trifax, the Polish Zerg player, of course, is going to be coming up next. Just double checking and making sure I have his team correct. There we go. Representing CSO Esports. Now, our players are asking for a small break, which makes sense. These have been some very long games. Very long games here for BabyMarine. So is asking for a moment here to compose himself as we get ready for our next matchup. As we get ready here for our next best of one. Based on the time as well, because we have 40 minutes. We have 40 minutes until the coffee cup. Let me just double check. Is it 40 minutes? No, sorry. An hour. 2 hours. No, we're good. I completely misunderstood the start time. 2 hours here until the coffee cup, which means, okay, once we wrap up King of the Hill, we will have time for some Christmas Cup. Let's go. Plenty of time. But for now, we are going to be going on a short break. When we return, we're going to have our next matchup between BabyMarine and Trifax. See you soon. Ta. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to one of our final matches here of the night. Welcome back. So another best of one here in OSC King of the Hill, weekly number 157, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have our Italian Terran player, the current King of the Hill with 2 wins under his belt. Can he keep it up? Can he keep it going? Can he claim another? It is BabyMarine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player, the Polish Zerg, the blue Zerg, representing CSO Esports. It is Trifax. go. Again, Trifax, another up-and-coming Zerg player in the European region. I would say is pretty comparable to players of the likes of ForJumy, Gerald, Krystianer, BabyMarine. Maybe one step behind. You know, Trifax still kind of building himself up and still making a name for himself. But I do want to believe that he can, of course, fight back and that he can become a king. Do you want to believe? We shall see. So traditionally, Trifax is more of a standard player. He's more macro-oriented and not really one to go for all-ins or cheeses. As I say that, I mainly cast Trifax against Protoss. But when it comes to the Polish regionals, we cast a lot of them. The House Open Cups and the House SC2 Circuit, for example. Would you, again, mainly focus our attention on the Protosses in Poland? You know, we speak about them all the time. Gerald, Krystianer, Papi, Rodzin, MeomaikA, to name a few. Mana. But Trifax, he is in a sea of those Protoss players, and again, as a result, we mainly cast Trifax against Protoss. I can't remember the last time I casted him against Terran, so I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Show us what you got. Curious to see what he brings to the table and his style in ZVT. You know, do we see Lingbane, HiGhDrA? Do we have Lingbane into Mutas? Roach Ravager, of course, into HiGhDrA Lurker, or just Roach as a safe opener to get into Lingbane? Rushing into Hive Tech to get into Ultras. There's a lot available here. There's a lot on the table. Let's see what we get. For now, Hatch Gas pull into a third base. Trifax just going to be interesting, taking his third and mining through these mineral patches to make sure he has access to this side of the map before he does expand. Reaper does arrive. And BabyMarine just going to be applying a bit of pressure here at the natural base. Queen does pop out though. And Trifax is going to be able to hold on. Behind this, BabyMarine getting into his third CC before Starport. Very economic opener here from BabyMarine. So Reaper does escape. But again, very economic opener overall. Should be a third CC into Starport. We could be seeing some Banshee play here. Very safe play out of BabyMarine. There it is. Starport is in production. And with that add-on solve, the rack should be starting up the Tech Lab momentarily. Oh, we go for the Tumor. Ooh, the Tumor will go down. But it looks like it's going to be a one-way trip here. As never mind, the Reaper will escape. Queen a little bit too late here to respond. The Reaper will get the hell out of the main base. Will escape with a Tumor kill. Not too bad. We do also get eyes on the third base location. Behind this, BabyMarine not going for an add-on swap. There is no Tech Lab, which means it's most likely going to be a Liberator opener. Hellions are amassing. No, Viking, of course. Viking first into Lib. Or do we go for something else? I'm curious. Viking on the way. Third CC finishing up. Hellions are moving out. Again, this should be Hellion into Liberator. I don't think BabyMarine is one to go into BC. I don't think he's one for Battlecruiser play. I think he's that kind of player. So the Viking has arrived. Ling's going to get a bit of scanning information. Tuhili checking Trifax. He did get eyes on the 1-1-1. Did not see the add-ons. And there's that Liberator on the way. Which means we're going into faster Stim. We're not going into Banshees. There we go, Stim in production. Behind this, Trifax just going to be joining on up. We've reached that 4-minute 30 mark. We should soon be seeing a lair, or at least a Bailey nest. Could go double Evo chamber. Was the Overlord is going to be going down. The Queens will swat this away. The Overlord does fall. Viking lands as well, just to support. Viking will fall, but good trades here against the Lings. Good trades overall by BabyMarine. Again, he loses one Viking for an Overlord and 7 Lings. Behind this, Trifax is getting ready for Liberators. Again, he saw the Viking. Liberators are a very common transition after a Viking. So they are in position here in the natural and the main base. Barely finishing up in time for that Lib. Likewise behind this, getting into a 5-rack setup. 5 racks on 3 bases, very standard setup from BabyMarine. Liberator does slip in. Does bypass that Spore. Spore later reposition. But the Lib is still going to go down. does fall here in the main base. Not the best investment here at a BabyMarine. He didn't really achieve too much. Wasn't able to kill a drone. Wasn't able to deal any economic damage. And a good cleanup by Trifax. Meanwhile, across the map, we're still just getting into our production. 5 racks is up and running. Hellions, they get eyes on the would be 4th. They may even force a cancel. Uh-oh. And they will. With force a cancel, we get a kill on the Spore as well. Good pick up there by BabyMarine. Meanwhile, there it is. We do have our lair done. Bathing Nest on the way. Double Evo Chamber as well. Very standard play out of our Zerg. With this double Evo Chamber, it should be 1-1, should be Ling Bane, no roaches. Which is a bit of a breath of fresh air. We've been casting a lot of Serral and Raynor and Dark recently, and they've all been playing, they've all been embracing roach play. So I do appreciate it. I appreciate the Ling Bane. Double drop does arrive just in time. We're looking for another cancel here on this base. The Lings, they do respond though. Trifax will hold. We hold on to the 4th. Sorry, we hold on to the 5th as the 4th is up and running. Aliens going to be clearing up some creep. Again, Trifax barely has any active tumors. But he is holding on to his bases. That's what's important. His economy looking decent here. 72 workers, soon to be 80. Infestation bits on the way here. Macro hatch as well to get into Hive Tech, to get into Ling Bane into Ultra production. I'm assuming it's Ling Bane into Ultra just because we haven't seen a Hydrogen yet. Now pushing in. How good are the mine shots? Up! Ooh, big connection. Big shot there on the Lings and the Banelings. And just like that, we're breaking on through. We're focusing on the hatchery. Can we get the base? It's going to be close. Good target firing. We get 1, we get 2, we get every single Baneling. We can trade against the Lings. Good target firing once again. And BabyMarine is snowballing out of control. He breaks through the army, gets himself the base as well. And Trifax, he's falling behind. He's falling far behind here. This was such an efficient trade for BabyMarine. Losing only a handful of Marines. And he takes a massive supply lead. Another big mine shot goes off. And we're not done. We are not done. Not even close as we move out with a triple drop. You saw what BabyMarine could do with 2 Medivacs. Now what about with 3? What about 5? Hellbats are morphed in. Banelings desperately being morphed in as well. BabyMarine taking a big supply lead, pushing towards this southern base, and we are not quite in position. Trifax rotating over, which means he's exposing his northern base. The mines! Big mine shots. Hot pick up there at a BabyMarine, avoiding the friendly fire. And we dive on top of these queens. We have some transfuse, but it's not going to be enough. We are pulling Trifax apart. It's going to be another cancel on this northern hatchery. Triple jump going into the main. And the Banelings are not ready. We're not ready, Papi. They do finish up just in time. They do get some connections. But again, we drop into the main base at the same time. The queens are falling. Good positioning here behind the mineral line. Very efficient trades once again. BabyMarine is just having his way with Trifax at this point. Once the first fight here at the 3rd base, that's the moment when he just took momentum away from Trifax. The Widowmine! No, the drones! Massive connection. 18 workers go down to 1 Widowmine. Ay, ay, ay. The economy's in shambles, the army in shambles. We're shutting down bases left and right. That's a kill, not a cancel. 300 minerals down the drain. And again, we just cannot keep up. Not anymore. We're getting out of control, man. Queen goes down. We deny the gold. And Trifax barely has an army as well. God, there are just so many Widow Mines. The macro just has not been stopping here for BabyMarine, just trading incredibly efficiently for the past couple of minutes. He's just zoning away his opponents. Ooh, big mine shots going up. Widow Mine's going to be reburrowing. Again, good splits here overall. Bailey's going to look for some connections. They will not connect. And BabyMarine, it looks like he has broken this base. He has broken this hatchery. Not enough to defend. The hatchery will fall. Winter Mines won't be able to reset, but we're not done because we have another drop coming into the natural. More queens going down. How many queens do we have left? We have 8. Oh man, that's quite a lot of queens. Despite so many falling, we still have 8 queens left, but again, we just still cannot keep up. Behind this, 4th base is getting up and running. BabyMarine working on 3-3. And Trifax, he does have a hive, he does have Adrenal on the way, but just pure Link main is not going to cut it. Not anymore. It is a numbers game, and BabyMarine, he is up almost 80 supply. Brutal trade with these Lings. Good target firing as well here. Good splits against the Banelings. GG gets called. There's nothing left. And BabyMarine will take down Trifax. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of BabyMarine. Always just in the driver's seat, in control. Again, it all came down to that first fight. The first fight that's, of course, BabyMarine was able to just, yeah, wreak havoc and bring everyone down. Oh. As we are getting ready for our next game. Oh! As we already have our next opponents, I was not expecting. But yeah, it's so fast. They're so quick. They are so quick here as we're getting into our next game. Jesus, vetoes were so fast. And we're getting into another TVP. BabyMarine versus NightPhoenix. Fun fact, NightPhoenix is playing both in Christmas Cup and in this tournament as well. He's playing in both. Impressive. Is impressive, but here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta. Just setting up the player teams. Beautiful. Bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta, we have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing HiGhDrA Gaming. It is NightPhoenix. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the current King of the Hill with 3 wins under his belt. It is BabyMarine. And we're in for a short one. We're in for a short one, Papi, as we are getting ready. We're diving in, and we are going for a proxy gateway. How committed will we be? How many gateways are going to be thrown down? As I try to sort out the player name. One moment. Bam, there we go. Beautiful. Probe going to be coming in, being a bit of an annoyance here. We do have 1 gateway proxied across the map to be able to reinforce, get a Zealot out, of course, get Adept moving across the map. It should be 1 gateway proxied and 1 gateway back at home, I imagine. Oh, as Bob, the Bob toss. As NightPhoenix, clearly an artist here, is going to be locked into the main base. Likewise, BabyMarine also skirting around the edge of the map, going for his own proxy as well. The aggression continues for both players. Proxy factory? No, sorry. Factory is back at home. Starport? I'm feeling a proxy starport here at a BabyMarine, but with the starport being proxied, we have our first Zealot on the way. Okay, it's going to be double gas opener. NightPhoenix is aware of the more aggressive build here from BabyMarine. Probe gets shut down. NightPhoenix will be expanding. Didn't throw down a gateway back at home. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so NightPhoenix going for something more of an economic follow-up here. And there's that second factory, not a starport. Okay. We are going for a mass cyclone all in. 1 base all in at a BabyMarine, mass cyclones on the horizon. Let's go, going for the add-on swap. Zealots are soon to arrive though, catching the wall's down. The wall is not a wall. We do get into that main base. We dive on top of the reactor, and this factory is not making anything. Reapers have to be made here. Boys are being pulled. BabyMarine in a lot of trouble. Reaper gets across the map, but the reactor goes down. We will delay any kind of Cyclone production. This build has been thrown up in the air here. BabyMarine forced to pull the boys. We have Zealots on the other side of the wall. SCVs are going down. We're busting in. We're busting into the main base. There is no repair. NightPhoenix rallying across the map here with more Stalkers. Breaking into the main base. There's a Hellion to defend. We're supply blocked. We are supply blocked. BabyMarine, he barely has anything left. More SCVs are going down. Zealots, they get surrounded. There are 2 Reapers remaining here and 1 Hellion, but the Hellion goes down. Cyclones are on the way. BabyMarine, he still has that reactor across the map, but he can't make use of it. Ay, ay, ay. It's still on the way. BabyMarine, to be fair, can still get into this. Doesn't have the best economy, down to 15 SCVs, but he can still make as many Cyclones as possible. And honestly, in this kind of scrappy scenario, Cyclones, they can pop off. So NightPhoenix is ahead in workers. Does have the economic lead. Picks up another Reaper. Oh, does get shut down though. Another Stalker has arrived. You can see him trying to get damage done here, but another Stalker falls. We're going for another Warp in, but we're going to be losing so much here. We want the Cyclone. We're not going to get it. These have been wasteful trades here for NightPhoenix, throwing away another 2 Stalkers. And BabyMarine doesn't lose anything. And we're getting into mass Cyclone. 3 Cyclones at a time. This is going to be a late all-in out of the BabyMarine, but he is ahead in army supply. NightPhoenix down to 1 Stalker. Now 2. Gateway is depowered. BabyMarine pushing in. And I don't think NightPhoenix is aware of the proxy. He's not aware of the all-in that's coming. He's not aware of just how many Cyclones there are. NightPhoenix almost pulled this off. Casito. Shield battery is done, but there's just so much DPS. If we have the overcharge, the overcharge does hold. NightPhoenix is holding on here. At the same time, though, we are amassing more Cyclones. NightPhoenix, can we survive? He's looking. Oh, he's going to be repowering that gateway. Bold move out of NightPhoenix. The boys are being pulled again. We are completely all in. It's all or nothing for BabyMarine. How many Cyclones? 7, soon to be 9 Cyclones. There's only 1 shield battery on the low ground. Overcharge is still on cooldown. We cannot use it. We have more gates on the way, but man, I think BabyMarine may just have too much. If we had some force fields, then maybe not. But there it is. We catch the Stalkers. 1 Stalker goes down. A 2nd Stalker as well. Boys are being pulled. Worker on worker action, but these Cyclones have just so much DPS. We're breaking through. We're snowballing out of control. There's 2 Stalkers left. 1. Soon to be none. Let's go for another desperate warp in back in the main base. We do have a shield battery. We have the overcharge. All we have to do is hold. All we have to do is survive. BabyMarine, he's waiting out the overcharge. Rallying more Cyclones into the main. Going for the Artosis pylon. Doesn't get it. Going for a sentry. We have a force field. Yeah, time is working against BabyMarine. We just need to survive a little bit longer. The Stalkers are being focused down. So are Cyclones, though. We're down to 3 Stalkers. We're down to 2 Stalkers remaining. It looks like, yeah, there's too much. There's too many Cyclones here. We snowball out of control. We break through the army. GG gets called, and BabyMarine will take down NightPhoenix with the 1 base mass Cyclone. GG. GG, well played. BabyMarine popping off here, able to survive the aggression of NightPhoenix. NightPhoenix did kill a lot of SCVs, that's true, but we saw that NightPhoenix did overextend. Remember, he lost so many Stalkers as he was trying to keep that proxy gateway powered. He lost like 4 Stalkers in the process, and from there, he didn't realize how committed BabyMarine was. He wasn't aware of the 1 base all-in. Was focusing on the next step, was probing up, only had a single shield battery at the natural, moved out, no sentries. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we have 1 series left. 1 best of 1 remaining. Who's it going to be? Oh my god. We saved the best for last. One more best of one. And it is going to be a TVT. It's going to be a Terran versus Terran matchup here between BabyMarine and Spirit. Let's go. Spirit is going to be coming out here, the Polish Terran player. The best Terran in Poland. Oh boy, it all comes down to this. One final best of one. Just trying to catch our players, make sure we don't get left behind. Make sure we don't get left behind. Ooh. And yeah, kind of what a way to end it as well. I did see Spirit earlier kind of like lurking in the chat, and I was curious if he was going to be competing tonight. And oh boy, this is going to be another mountain to climb. Now, BabyMarine, he has popped off in TVT before. He has beaten Spirit before. We actually casted Spirit versus BabyMarine maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, in Home Story Cup, in the most recent Home Story Cup in the group stage. And we were able to pop off. We were able to get some good results. So a best of one could still go either way. Getting ready. Do you like Cyclones? We'll prepare for Cyclone versus Cyclone. Oh, true. I didn't even think of that. True. I mean, the TVT meta has been evolving. You're not wrong. Has been shifting and has been changing in the new patch. And Cyclone versus Cyclone is very much so a thing in TVT. But I wonder if BabyMarine is one to embrace that. Same with Spirit as well. Like, I know that a lot of the Korean Terrans, I know that Clem has, I know HiGhDrA has. I wonder, because we could still get into a more traditional TVT. We don't have to embrace the Cyclone. It's likely, but we don't have to. Here we go. Again, as this is going to be the final series of the night. The final best of one. This also means that unfortunately I won't be able to cover the Christmas Cup. I mean, I may be able to later. That is true. I might be able to cover. Some of the replays later on. Actually, what's our calendar looking like? All right, we have an ESL cast later. God. Okay. We're good. We're good. Are good. Oh. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be casting ESL Open Cup the Americas, ESL Open Cup Americas, as we miss out on casting it live during the week, so we're going to be casting it tomorrow, and that's going to be leading into the Christmas Cup semifinals and finals. Now, there is going to be a small break in between ESL Open Cup Americas and the Christmas Cup semis. So in that period, we might be able to cast, we might be able to cover the round of 8, the replays from Christmas Cup tonight. Oh, the casting. We'll catch up on everything, Papa. We'll catch up. But looks like we're going to be going on a short break. Going to be going on a short break here, waiting for the players to conduct their vetoes and set up the lobby, and we'll be back with our final best of one. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the finale, the final game here of OSC King of the Hill, weekly number 157. We're here to determine, will we have our king reigning well, reigning long, reigning strong, or will he be usurped by the challenger? We're here to find out. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of HiGhDrA, we have the Italian Terran player, our current king of the hill with 3 wins under his belt. Oh, my apologies. 4 wins under his belt. It is BabyMarine. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his challenger. We have the Polish Terran player representing his new team, Navi. It is Spirit. Spirit, of course, we're going for we're going for a proxy 2-racks in the natural base. One way or another, this game will end in the next couple of minutes. Now, thankfully, double gas opener. Okay, thankfully, it's going to be a double gas opener out of BabyMarine, which means he is going to go for a racks into factory. He's going for a faster factory into a delayed command center, so he will not die immediately. He won't just die if he went for something more economic. So far, a good start. He rolls the dice. He rolls well. So far, a good start here by BabyMarine. But this is going to hit hard. This is going to hit fast. And the goal here for Spirit is to catch the Reaper. And oh, okay. We're going reactor first. Okay. So we're going to have a Reaper advantage here for Spirit. He's going to be getting into the main base. I don't know if we can protect the factory. Because it's reactor first, this factory is so exposed, and if the factory doesn't finish, then we die. We need this factory to finish here. The SCV gets up the ramp, sees the reactor, I'm sure is happy about it. Reaper dips in, we get on top of the factory, it will not finish. This SCV is going to be going down. The boys, they have to be pulled, and we have to get this factory up and running. And it is so long until we have any units. Another SCV goes down. Bunker is on the way. We get a 4th SCV as well. This factory is still not building, by the way. It's still not producing anything. And this may just be it. This may just be game. Far too much damage is being dealt here. The SCV still survives. Bunker's on the way. Marines do arrive. They're going to do their best. But Marines are just being out-kited. They're being out-controlled here. As the final Marine goes down, we have 3 SCVs, and that is going to be it. We have snowballed out of control. GG gets called, and Spirit will be our final King of the Hill. GG, well played. That was a roller coaster ride of emotions. GG. Immediately I was like, oh, he's okay. He's going double gas. And then it's like, oh, it's reactor first. Well, that's just a build order loss. That's as we saw. If we go for a reactor first, that means we have no Reaper to defend. That means we have nothing to protect the factory. Without a factory, no Hellions. That Hellions, it's just over. We just die. As long as Spirit didn't miss control, as long as he didn't lose a Reaper ahead of time, there was no way for BabyMarine to really shut down that army and shut down those Reapers. There was nothing that he could have done in that situation just because of his build of choice, just because of his opener. It was just a rough start there for BabyMarine. And with that, GG. Spirit, again, he gambles a little bit, gambles well, and does take the series. Does mean that Spirit will be ending, we will be ending the night with Spirit as our King of the Hill. GG, well played. Now this means that Spirit, he will have the option to come back next week as the starting player. As the starting player to just rank up some wins and rank up that bank and really reign strong here. I mean, Spirit is one of the best Terrans in Europe. He's amazing, he's beautiful, and it will be difficult to bring him down. But a big shout out to all of our kings tonight, all of our champions. A big shout out to SKillous for getting an insane run earlier, getting 8 wins in a row. SKillous popped off. He was stopped by ForJumy. ForJumy did bring him down, did get a bonus because SKillous did get 8 wins. ForJumy was the one to stop the reign of SKillous, and then BabyMarine thereafter was able to clean up and bring down every player until Spirit rocked up. Spirit, of course, our final champion. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are done for the OSC King of the Hill. But we're not done for the night because we have plenty more StarCraft ahead of us. We have an event that's beginning in 4 minutes. It's going to be the Fresh Coffee Pot Cup of Glory #1. Do I know what the hell that is? No idea. It's apparently an event sponsored by a coffee company, I believe, and it is being run by Dave Testa. Is being run by Dave Tesla, and he did let us know that we could cast the event as well. We can cover the event here on our channel, and again, it is... Sorry, God, I messed it up again. Jesus. It is starting not in 4 minutes. My apologies. It's starting in 1 hour. In 1.5 hours. Ooh, which means, hold up. Can I catch some Christmas Cup? A little bit. Maybe. I can. Okay. Hold up. Okay, so currently the Christmas Cup is ongoing, and on the one hand, I could take a break and get some food. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. in the morning here. 4 a.m. in the morning, and again, I have 1.5 hours until the next broadcast. Christmas Cup is wrapping up. There are 2 series left. There are 2 series remaining. I could just jump in and cast 2 series and then go straight into the Dave Tester event. But it's only 2 series, and a lot of these matches are still ongoing. I'm gonna be jumping. If I did cast, I would jump in mid-series into NightPhoenix versus Nikic. And on the flip side, I could just gather replays. And I could just cast this tomorrow. Instead. And have like a more proper stream with more matches. I could do that instead. So I think that may be the play here, especially because like again, it would be nice to take a bit of a break. So yeah, especially because Christmas Cup, it is about to end. So it's tempting, but I should look after my throat. I should look after myself. So we're gonna be going on a short break. We're gonna be heading off. The stream will be ending here for 1.5 hours. And if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft action, then we got you covered. We do have you covered in 1.5 hours. We're gonna be casting another event, the Fresh Coffee Pot Cup of Glory. It's a weird event, but it's sponsored by a coffee company. And again, it's an open tournament with plenty of amazing players. We're going to be featuring players like Gerald, MeomaikA, Jomek, Wayne, Smile, MeomaikA, Foxer, Demaga, ForJumy, Krystianer, HonMonO, CuKu, Gref. A lot of players. Plenty of players will be taking part in this event. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be casting that. We'll be focusing on that. And I'll be getting some rest in preparation. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan. Eat something. Yeah, I'll get some food. I'll make some ramen. I'll make some instant ramen. It's gonna be beautiful. Will I get something else? Could try to get something else. We'll see. That's about the time it takes to hunt down and cook a ramen animal. You're not wrong, Boptimus. You're not wrong. That's the plan. Yeah. So we'll end it here. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Big shout out to Eddie, of course, for hosting this event, and a big shout out to OSC and King of the Hill. If you enjoyed this format, if you want more of it, then King of the Hill is going to be back next week. It is a weekly event, and this was our first event of the year. It was our first event of 2024, the first King of the Hill 2024, and we should be seeing more of it in the coming weeks. Sometimes we cast it, but other times it's being hosted by Wardy. I think Wardy is hosting his own event this weekend, so he wasn't available. But whether it's ourselves, whether it's Wardy, whether it's Dave Testa, Chicken Man, or some of the other community casters out there, OSC King of the Hill will be covered by someone. So do keep your eye out for that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We're going to be back in 1.5 hours with some more StarCraft action. Until then, enjoy. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send our support to send our love to. I know MeomaikA is streaming at the moment, so we could raid Mindle. Oh, actually, Rostok. Is he casting NightPhoenix? I think he is. He is okay. We'll raid Rostok. We'll raid him. He won't be casting in English, but he is covering some of those Christmas Cup matches. And again, if you won't be here tomorrow to watch the quarterfinals where we're going to be casting the replays, then Rostok has you covered. We'll send him some love. Send Rostok some love. So enjoy. He's currently casting NightPhoenix versus Nikic. Enjoy. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We'll be back in an hour and a half. See you then. See you then. Poppy, see you then.